let's check this out. All right. Missing some lighting that we're gonna need. Let's go ahead and get that going. That's gonna be better. There we go. Need that. Okay. Bitrate looks solid enough. Let's just listen to the audio really quick. A little bit of feedback loop. Okay, that sounds good. Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Another Friday with Dad Name Cobra. And I know I haven't been posted lately on the tubes. We've been streaming, experimenting with different games and stuff like that. But for those of you in the live studio audience, you know we've been here playing different stuff. Today, I thought I would start a series playing Terra Invicta. It's a game I love. It's a grand strategy game. It was all a little while ago, and I know it's died down a little bit, but I know there's a lot of big fans still playing. There's a lot of patches going on, and there's been a lot of development. So I'm excited to go back in and give it another go. It's kind of like what if XCOM was a deep, was like a deep strategy game or something like that. It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, for those of you not familiar with the 4X genre, usually, I mean, this isn't 4X. This is what I would call the grand strategy genre. Usually there's a combination of trying to manage counselors or agents that you use to perform tasks while also indirectly controlling territories that you use to gain resources and ultimately space forces and stuff to battle in games. You see similar structures in like games like I believe like Crusaders 3 comes to the top of my head. There's other ones like that. Romance in the Three Kingdoms is an old school, old-timey one. Kind of some similar ideas, but in this case, it's very much that XCOM kind of alien invasion vibe. And one of the factions that you can use, the Resistance, in fact, has very much that kind of energy as far as how they play the game. I'm playing my favorite faction, the Initiative, which I renamed to be the Illuminati, because you can rename them in the game. Because that's basically what they are. I mean, like, you can see their logo right here. And they're very much kind of a corporate, we're going to try to run the world secret society type, very much your Illuminati types, and that makes them one of my favorites to test out. And what we're going to do is over here on the side, you can see I've started up an Excel sheet. We're going to kind of keep track of stuff as we go along. Now, in the past, I've done things where what I'll do is I'll sit there and I'll create myself a big running log. A little hard to do while streaming, but we are going to get some charts up eventually and stuff like that, so that we can kind of visualize it. So we're going to start off a little slow as I get going, and the early game for this game does have a slow pacing. So if you're watching live, feel free to throw in comments in chat and interact. This is one of those slower paced games as far as that goes. Really good chance today that we won't even get into the space element of the game, because you have to have a lot of resources to get going for it. Okay, so with all of that, let's go ahead and hop in here. We're going to see our intro sequence. We're going to check our additional options. Okay, confirm, modern scenario. They haven't added others yet. Rumor has it they're going to add a scenario like where the invasion takes place back in like the 50s or the 40s, around the Roswell time. But that hasn't happened yet. There are options for how big you want the solar system to be. I do the full solar system. My computer can handle it. But if you have an older machine, sometimes picking one of the smaller solar systems can help. Or if you want the game to play a little faster in the space game, that can help as well for some people, because in the late game, the solar system really matters for who controls how much of it. And I always do the full 8 factions, but again, if you want the game to be a little calmer, you can also turn that down so you're dealing with less human factions. Because in addition to fighting the aliens, you are competing with other factions out there. Now, the game starts in late 2022, rather by the time that the war in Ukraine kicked off. And as a matter of fact, I believe that is, they have Russian troops in the Ukraine at the beginning of the game to represent that going on. So it's very much based on current events with the way a lot of this goes. Now, if you see me looking off to the side here, I've got a monitor here for observing you all. I've got a monitor up here to where all my Excel stuff's going, and we've got the game down here, and you're hearing my camera right here. So, if you're new here, I'm Cobra. I'm a dad. Thus the Dad Name Cobra thing. We've got a toddler and a couple of teenage step kiddos and other video games. I'm a huge fan of old school stuff like XCOM and things like that. And while I do appreciate shooters and things, a lot of times I like these slower paced games, especially ones that are turn based right now, because as a dad, frequently I get called away. And so I make a game that I can walk away from at any moment and then come back to a little easier to play. I'm sure you can understand. Right now, I stream on Twitch on Friday mornings, usually starting somewhere around 9:30ish, playing for a few hours, depending on how the day goes. And sometimes, if it's a really good day, I'll play a couple of different times throughout the day. Depends on the schedule and what's going on out there. All right. Now, music today is brought to us by Pretzel, Pretzel.rocks. They're not a sponsor, but if you are a streamer or a YouTuber, they're an excellent resource for music. I've got it set to YouTube safe, and that allows me to, by default, their Twitch library is huge. They're Twitch safe basically all the time. There's a button also to do for YouTube safe if you want to be extra safe, to make sure that all the licensing and everything is correct. Great service, love it. It's a nice way to add some background and ambience without having to worry too much about it. So if you're thinking about streaming or are a streamer, and you're like, where's he getting his music from? That's where it's coming from. And I've got the volume on that set to 3%, so the balance should be good, but you all have to let me know if the music's coming through too loud, and I can always see what I can do to try to tweak it down even more. It always amazes me how even a little bit of music sometimes can just feel so overwhelming to people watching.
We remember the day the stars answered, the day we learned we were not alone. As a familiar sun rose on an unfamiliar universe, some of us saw wondrous possibility and others existential danger. The astronomers had insisted that the bright streak in the sky was no natural phenomenon. Most of us didn't really believe them until it burned through our atmosphere and crashed in a remote region, leaving only wreckage and uncertainty. In our ignorance, we fractured, taking refuge in our most primal emotions. Each of us saw what we wanted to see. Survival of the fittest has always been the game. Whether you're beating your enemy with a rock or a lawsuit, you have to be vicious to be the top dog. Because when you've worked for everything and you've fought for all you have, nothing will satisfy you except everything.
At the opening sequence, if you play the Illuminati, it's slightly different for everyone, but that's the basic vibe. Now, the game opens with a UFO crashing, which triggers an intense stage in the early game. The first few months, you're getting to give actions to your counselors, which are your agents. We'll go over those in a minute, every week. And then after a few months, when the alien panic calms down a little bit and society kind of just gets over it, gets back to things, because you know how we are, it's very human of us, then you'll find that it slows down to every 2 weeks is when you're giving commands to your counselors. Push to alert. Now, they have these options now where you can control where you see these kinds of things, which is cool. There's been some big updates to the UI. I'm going to leave that alone for the moment, but it'll kind of regulate stuff going on here. So, normally when you're playing, some players really like to re-roll over and over until they get a better start. The kind of agents you start with can make a huge difference on the early game and influence that you might have in some countries early on. Me, I just kind of like to play it just from where it goes and see how things happen. So let's go ahead and get our
Welcome,
resources.
boss. The Council has appointed you leader of our organization. I am Soren van Wyk, your Chief Operating Officer. We're living in a time of great change. The alien arrival will transform our world, possibly beyond recognition, and we must be positioned to respond appropriately to whatever opportunities may occur.
All right. So let's do a quick event summary. This looks like it's been tweaked. Do they do this every round? Detected alien station belonged to Project Exodus. Aliens, a station belonged to the Academy. All right, so factions. Got a few of them. Let's see if they actually show them to us here. They kind of, yeah. So we've got the Resistance, Humanity First, the Servants, the Protector, the Academy, Project Exodus. And we're the seventh faction, the Illuminati, aka the Initiative. And there's a few variants on how these all run. The Resistance and Humanity First have a firm anti-alien stance. The Servants have a pro-alien stance. The Protectorate are quasi-pro-alien. They kind of want to capitulate. And the Academy has a find a best solution for everybody kind of thing. And then Project Exodus and the Illuminati are kind of neutral. Project Exodus wants to leave, and the Illuminati wants to profit and run the show, but neither of them have a firmly alien or anti-alien stance. The Academy is one of the hardest because they're kind of they're like the true neutral organization as far as things go. So here is our intel panel. Transfer planner, I don't really use, but it allows you to kind of see what it would take to get to different areas in the game. Some people love that. Here's an overview of the solar system if you want to look at it this way versus the normal space map. Global information, you can see how public opinion is. As you can see early on, the Academy started with a really good start. We're like, the Illuminati here, we're at 8%. Talks you things about Earth population, GPT, Earth commodity market, the environmental stuff. Global warming happens over time. The planet gets more and more messed up as the invasion goes along. And then what intel we have on the aliens, which right now, of course, we have that one crash. And up here, let's take a look at our resources. I've created for us a resource log. Well, it's not even a resource log where I can track things going on. So currently in the bank, we've got 200 money. We have 50 influence, 20 ops. We have no boost. We are not using MC, and we have a cap of 1. We have 34.3 research generation. We've got 0 CPUs down to 137. No water, no volatiles, no base materials, no noble materials, no fuzziles. Well, starting off pretty simple there. As far as income goes, cash sitting at 9.4, influence is 45.5, no ops, no boost, research, well, 34.3. You know, really, that should only be in one of the entities. Let's go ahead and, there we go. 34.3, water, volatile, space mineral, fizzles. Okay. So we gotta have two categories here. These dark oranges, these resources are primarily generated by the Earth, by nations that you control them, right? And wow, this song is not fitting the ambient vibe of everything else. Okay, it's almost over. So a lot of those are you're going to get by controlling organizations, by having influence in countries. Now, these brighter orange or yellowish resources, these ones here are your space-based resources, almost exclusively acquired by having mining facilities out on the moon, other planets, etc. They're hugely important in the space game, and until you can really get them going, the space game is super slow. One of the first things you're going to want to try to do is get yourself up to the moon, and then get a mine on the moon, and then hopefully be able to use those resources to start kind of getting your space game going along. But until you get something going on the moon, and usually Mars or one of the asteroids, it is very, very slow to start. All right, should we set up a chart, folks? Let's get a chart going here. I want to do. What do we think? What do we feel? We're gonna do a 2D chart for data. I'm going to add. Really need a it's always funny how that works. Okay, then we'll go ahead and go here, rename that cache. Let's say we get that up there. Now, doesn't need to be so gigantic. Go ahead and do some formatting. Shape fill. Do we want dark charts or bright charts, folks? I like the dark, or we can go for some more themed around our stuff. But we're gonna go for here. Shape fill to be green there. We'll make the generation level orange. We'll keep it that way. We're gonna go here to our lines. I feel like I don't really need those. Chart design, add chart element and data levels outside of the end. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna turn both of these into currency symbols. Developer, chart design. We're going to get rid of our primary horizontals. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to change hold on there. Chart design. You know, actually, what we can do here, change chart type. Select data. Edit. What happens if I just leave it blank? There we go. There we go. Add chart element, chart title, above chart. Call this income. What do they call it in game? We call the resource in game cash reserves. So we'll call it cash. That works for us. Right. Format chart area again. Get rid of that line. We don't really need that. And then, as far as the outline goes, let's change up the outline. I bet you if we do. How does that look for folks? What if I go over here and preview this for you all? See what I've got with a full screen view. Yeah, they're tiny numbers. So you're going to barely be able to read them. I understand that. It depends how big your TV is. But you know, we're doing this more for fun than practicality. All right. What we're going to do is we'll go chart design, go format, bam. Yeah. Now we're cooking with gas. These ones are going to get the old dark orange. Okay. Shape outline. No outline. All right. Thank you for hanging out with me, folks, while we get this set up. This is what the live experience is like, though. You get to watch like how the pudding is made. I don't think anybody says that. I feel like that I just made that up. How the pudding is made by Cobra. Okay. All right. So we've got cash. This one. Change things up here. We're gonna go with influence. Two is lower the max height of those to be lower than where the title is. Charts. Okay. Influence is normally like a dark orange color, so we'll go with that. Cash. We've got our influence up. Got going on here. We're going to need ourselves ops. Select our data there. Ops. It's like a whitish, yellowish. Not a great color to work with, so we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Yeah, looks good. All right. So we've got those primaries there. And then what I feel like we're gonna do for a few of these is we're gonna get our MC cap and CP cap. We're gonna do a little bit here. We're gonna go bam bam. Oh wait, I forgot boost. Yeah. This is what you get, folks. Boost up here. We're gonna go ahead and go to chart design and select data. And boost is a funny one because we're not getting anything out of boost right now. Two zeros. We'll have to wait until we have some actual boost before we can fix the color balance. And then we're going to go ahead and get our mission control. And we're going to do mission control and CP next to each other here. Let's see here. Let's take a look at how big this bad boy is. Size. Oh man, they're doing it this way. 2.7. So go with. go ahead and get ourselves set up for MC used. It's great, isn't it? That one is mission control. All right, we'll go ahead and give mission control a blue vibe. So we'll get the generation be a lighter blue. And then we'll set up here. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves set up with CP used. This is called control points. All right. Control points has got kind of a dark orangey vibe, so we'll go ahead and mix that up a little bit, though. We're going to make that a little redder. We'll go into a more dark red. Okay, for now. All right, so we've got our basics started here. Go ahead and save here. And we're going to worry about our volatiles and stuff once we actually start having something to worry about. All right, so for the moment, our nerdiness is pretty good there. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, folks. So let's talk about assignments. Let's take a look at our agents. So I call them agents. They call them counselors in game, which is actually kind of a weirdly awkward name because that's not there. What do we got? We've got a diplomat and an executive. Great. I'm of a mixed opinion about executives, but let's take a look here. So our starting diplomat, Belinda Moore, she's from the United States, so she's a U.S. based. She's got government, which is useful, gives us access to special things. She's anxious, which means that if our counselors start dying, her loyalty will go down. She gets some benefits from her homeland, but nuclear war will cause things bad. And she's an elder statesman, so she's fairly influential. So honestly, she's a pretty good starter. And she's got 20 experience points to begin with, so we can already go ahead and bump stuff up. Taking a look here. Okay, she's a diplomat, but she doesn't have the influence ability. Wow. Okay, she can't try to persuade. That's rough. Can we fix that? Gain traits, affluent. Okay. So we need her to get like an organization or something that's going to give her the ability to influence countries. Wow, that's not great. That is not great. Public campaign is what we're going to need. It requires the Belfast region, though it costs 731, so we can't afford it. Okay, well, let's take a look here. And also does not have public campaign. Are you kidding me? Both my counselors not have public campaign. Let's make sure I'm not just missing this. We're gonna go over here.
Reporting in.
What's the up?
So that's a tough start. So before we go getting rid of them, though, let's go ahead and look at... we've got some starting influence. What can we recruit? Can't influence a lot of the 60s. That means this executive Julian here is our only option. Doesn't have public campaign. We will generate influence over the month. And there are some people here. Surly astronaut, a fixer, a scientist, another fixer, a judge, professor, and another surly astronaut. Okay. Well, we have no ability to publicly campaign for nations. This is kind of a re-roll scenario. Not that I would normally go for that, but we don't... Oh, they've got automated missions abilities now. Defense-oriented missions aimed at protecting our interests on Earth. Interesting. Adding in the ability to automate those is amazing. That's a big thing in the game. Okay, it's a shame. I like a lot of things about Belinda, and Baltazar has a great name. High persuasion on both of them, but they don't have public campaign. If there's no public campaign, I mean, unless we can literally just take over the U.S. with what we've got. Let's see here. Let's say I was going to try to send her to do a control nation. Yeah, 1%. 43% in Canada is... It's not bad. It's not bad. What we got over here? Yep, the war in Ukraine's going on. Okay. Where is Kazakhstan? 46%. We could get ourselves some early Kazakhstan territory with some luck. A couple of good rolls and we're in. And Kazakhstan's great because it generates boost, so it's an early boost. So we could burn some resources on Kazakhstan. I generally speaking like to focus my Illuminati games on North America, but that gets you early start and boost. And then I could start sending us into Canada because we have almost no influence there, and yet we still have a reasonable chance of getting control points in Canada. You know what? We're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and roll with this. Like I said, this is the way I generally prefer to play. So let's see about recruiting this executive guy. Is he worth it at all? Not really. We're going to wait a turn until we have some more points and see who's available. That might not totally suck. Okay. So, what do they want us to do?
Ready.
To send somebody off to investigate.
I'm here.
So Balthazar,
Standing by.
I were to send you to Kazakhstan, 36%. What if I spend a little bit of influence points? Not too much, just yeah. All right. You go hit Kazakhstan.
We'll bring this nation to our side.
Belinda,
Ready for my mission.
I'm going to send you to investigate our alien crackdown.
We'll see what we can find.
Okay. We're just going to go for it, folks. We're just going to give this the college try. Let's speed it up. Okay. So we've got a thing going on here. One humanity. The growing realization that we are not the sole sapient species in the universe is causing many to see their fellow humans in a new light, leading to hopes that we can overcome our capacity for strife to address the alien arrival as one people. Okay. Taking a look here. So this, our only option is let us try to set aside our differences. Event unlocked, wave of fear, triggers the following effects. All nations gain one cohesion. So this is kind of a band together, everybody kind of situation. So in the early game, we get a little bit of that for everything. So now we get to select our management team. So there's a couple times early on that we get to pick some influences which will boost some of our starting abilities. Lobbyists and influencers will give us increased influence by 3 per month. Our influence's income is really strong to start. Like, that is a fantastic starting influence generation. So I'm just going to go ahead and be like, okay, no, we're fine there. Scientists and engineers, monthly research income increases by 15. That would be pretty generous. We're starting with 34 monthly income for research. It's not high. We definitely need some countries. Officers and operators doesn't generate income. It would just give us a boost to initial ops. Financiers and investors would increase our money income by 10. We don't have a crazy good starting cash income. Okay, so this is where we're going to have to make a decision. 10 isn't a huge boost long term for money, but in the early game, money is big. So we're going to go ahead and start off with some financiers because we're the Illuminati. We've got to keep the bottom line solid. We've got to keep things here. So let's go ahead and go with that.
Here's what we found.
All right, I have learned some useful information from my investigation of the UFO crashdown site in Brazil. We'll receive a small bonus to our genealogy research going forward. And unfortunately, if there's one complaint I have, is that when we send people to investigate the aliens, it's usually a fairly generic zone. Oh, hi, Bubbly. I see you there. How are you doing? Welcome. I'm doing something a little different today. We're playing Terra Invicta. You can watch me use spreadsheets and such as I fight aliens as a corporate entity. But yeah, so as I was saying, these particular missions, they don't have the coolest lore all the time. So a lot of them are generic. But you know what you can do is you boost your xenology research bonus every time you go and do these. So they are worth doing.
We're out in front of this for now.
And in this particular case, this one, since it's the first one, we do get the crash, and we've completed the investigate crash objective. We've successfully gathered some samples from the crash site and are ready to investigate further. Numerous other groups are attempting to take control of the site in the meantime. Heavy competition seems likely. We've gained the following resources. We get 20 free influence out of that and 20 science to start. So, that's fine. We get 20 science, but I don't know that we have any science research going on. New objective, research alien signatures. The small quantity of debris we have gathered from the crash site is ready for analysis. We should also investigate the question of what happened to the ship's crew. All right. So let's bring up research and development. Okay, so we are doing audience research by default. Okay, that's not bad. And it looks like that'll be complete by December if I leave it the way it is. So where it is you've got 3 global researches, and you can have up to 3 private researches. Now, you get a bonus to research if you are researching in multiple areas. It's Bubbly says, smoke and allergies are kicking my butt. Yeah, Bubbly, I know exactly what you mean. This time of year that where the Pacific Northwest get top fires, and the smoke traces combined with seasonal allergies are terrible. I feel the same. I'm so glad I'm inside. Science boost. So look right now, we're doing 34.3, right? If I click into multiple researches, you get a small bonus for each for diversifying. And by hovering over here, you'll see that it tells me at the very bottom, if you look at the bottom there, you'll see it says xenology 1%. So because we did that research mission, we get a 1% bonus if we're researching a xenology tech. So spreading your science around is technically the smart way to do it. However, sometimes you might want to focus it if you're wanting to do a particular thing. So sometimes what I'll do is the more cubes you have on a thing, the more science gets devoted in. So by doing this, I've got 3 cubes here, 3 cubes out there. 50% of my research will be going to my private research project, and the rest is getting diversified out. Now, these projects out here all benefit you to some degree, but ultimately, at some point, I'm going to want to take over one of these research global ones. Because right now you'll see that the Humanity First, for example, is dominating in the Skywatch research contribution. They've contributed 11 compared to everybody else. And so whoever contributes the most gets to select the next global research. And that's very key for directing the research of the world towards the technologies you want, because these techs are necessary to unlock the kind of stuff you're going to do with your private research. Yeah, so it's kind of something to get used to. So let's go ahead and change our project here. Oh, we don't have the alien one yet, so we'll stick with it, what we've got, because whatever, audience research. That'll give us a little bit of, what do we get out of that? Project details. Gives us an influence. Actually, that feels like a waste of time to me. Let's do management research increases our control point management. This one would give us some ops. This one would give us some money. Let's do operations research for the moment because we don't have any operations budget at the moment. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and we'll just do that. Okay, there's a good balance. There's the Alien Signatures Project. Research. Let's go ahead and do that. It's low cost at 25, and it's important to be able to detect some of the alien stuff early on.
We still lack support.
Okay. Oh, see, they've updated a lot of this interface. So a lot of this is new for me. The big patch just dropped that targets some of the things about the UI. And so far, I'm loving it. So he didn't seize it. I love that. 75. Totally biffed it, boss. All right, well, we'll just continue. All right, the UN Security Council is meeting. The UN Security Council is met to discuss the alien arrival. Unfortunately, the hoped-for show of international unity did not materialize, with China, Russia, and the United States accusing each other of hiding knowledge about the alien crash and preventing full access to the site. We have an opportunity to shape events to our advantage and even make our case directly to the nations of the world. However, with the eyes of the world on these meetings, our counselors' risk of exposure to our enemies is extremely high. So we can do basically nothing and just get ourselves a little bit of ops points by hiding. We can gain some influence in ops if we do a subtle boost, and that'll give some benefit to our public opinion around the world. The better our public opinion, the easier it is for us to influence and take over nations from a control point standard. Or we can deliver our manifesto, which will give us a big influence boost and grants a public opinion boost around the world, but it does reveal a lot of our information to our enemies. This is always hard because they're going to learn about you anyways, and at some point they're going to know who your counselors are. So I don't know. We don't have direct enemies early on. The pro-alien and the pro-human factions compete a lot. Now, mind you, nobody really likes the neutral factions anyways, but we're not necessarily at direct war early on. So this is always a tough pick for me. I'm going to go with quietly steer support. We're going to take that middle road. Okay. So, we've got this new summary screen, which I love. This is better than it used to be. So we can see our faction stuff. Okay. We know we've got some things here. We can see what happened with, we've got some counselors seen in different countries. Alien vessel crash in Brazil. We spotted space stations in orbit because of the two human factions that are allowed to start with the space station, and no orbits showing. Okay. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we've got 19. Oh, let's update our income brackets. Let's update our information here. So cash, where are we at? 203.1. Influence, we're sitting at 99.2. 30 ops. We still have no boost. No changes here. Okay. Now if we come down here for income, we're up to 19.4 generation. Influence 53.5. Ops is still 0. Boost is still 0. Research 39.2. So we actually saw some improvement there. All said and done. Looks like I don't have. We need to put in a new chart. So let's go ahead and grab one of these. We are going to do ourselves a science one, except for actually chart design, change chart type, because it's more of let's just leave it as a bar. A bar works. Okay. Select data. We're just gonna go with collect data, research, and then we're going to get rid of that. Just going to rename this bad boy. And we'll just, doesn't really match the color schemes for them, but we'll just do purple. All right. Just shrink it down a little bit so it fits a little better in the space. But just so we have a clean, easy indicator for y'all. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick peek at how that looks there. All right, yep, got a nice little research bar. Okay, so we are doing better with our all around. Most of our categories went up, but what we need is more counselors. Now we can recruit up to 2 more. We've got 99 influence. Let's spend a little bit of that. Let's buy one. Now, as you know, we need somebody who can actually influence others. So, public campaign perspective, there's only 2 options, and they're both astronauts. Astronauts aren't the best influencers to start. So we got Paul Giabon. He's a Romanian astronaut of all things. So from a country perspective of what he brings to us, he's got good command. Let's see, what do we got here, though? He's an addict, so we're going to burn money on him. And oh man, he's just got lots of flaws. He's a martyr, so if he kills, if he dies, then that'll do us a lot of good from a propaganda standard. But again, lowers his security. He's a counselor, so and he's an astronomer, so we get some science bonus bits out of that. Okay, well, he is a mixed bag, and he's also 61. Counselors will age over the course of the game, so older ones, you do want to be careful about resources. There's nothing wrong with them. They often have their advantages, but you do want to kind of keep an eye on that, because once they start getting into their 80s and 90s, they can die of old age and natural resources. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so under persuasion, what we're looking for is this, folks: public campaign, because we need people who can talk us up. Nope. Wow, just not at all. Nope. Nope. American. Whose persuasion is even worse. Well, let's take a look here at his things. So he's an astronomer, so we get science. National hero, so he does get extra persuasion in the United States. Okay, that could be useful to us. Ethical, so if we commit atrocities, he goes down in loyalty. But he does have improved persuasion in nations where their inequality is not too high. Can't learn to assassinate him. He's a veteran, so he does have improved command and security skills, and a bonus to our military science research. And he's a quick learner. 40. You know what? We're going to go ahead and recruit him. We'll add him to the roster. Welcome on board, Alexander. All right. So, not off to the biggest start, but that's going to make a difference. He's already got some experience. That's awesome. We're going to go ahead and have him immediately increase his persuasion. Take a look here. We're going to have Baltazar increase his persuasion. And we're going to have Belinda increase... Oh, you know what? Actually, why doesn't she remove a trait? She'll remove... Well, nah, that doesn't matter to us right now. Increase her persuasion. Okay. So, here is our initial strategy plan then. What we're going to do is we're going to send Alexander to influence the United States, and we're going to give him a small stipend, not a huge one. He's, you know, our budget's not the best. We're not making enough money yet to make that a big deal. But let's go ahead and have him try to influence America. Exodus is already seizing Canada, which is what I was worried about. You go there.
We'll make our appeal.
Belinda.
Where to?
to go towards Canada, and you're going to spend a little bit. See, we have a vast influence budget, so we can really buff these.
Putting our people in place.
So we're going to do that.
Ready
there.
for your orders.
Balthazar, we're going to have you continue to attempt to influence Kazakhstan. Again, we're going to bump that up. Try to give you a
Putting
better
our
chance.
people in place.
Okay. All right, folks. Let's do it.
They are here to cleanse our sick world. The aliens are our saviors, and all who oppose
We hold
them
no
are
sway in their
enemies of the
minds.
future.
We were unable to establish
They are
control.
not life forms.
We're taking
We
over.
believe we...
Wow, we met everybody and everything is failing. So public campaign failed. We're gonna go ahead and repeat that mission for now. And control nation. God, I swear the game is such a dick. Success chance 79%, rolled 99. Alright. And at least we succeeded in Canada. So that's something. But the control point for Canada immediately fell to the Canadians. I mean, to the Project Exodus. Oh, man, I hate that. Okay. Well, let's see what we've got going on here. So here's our log for our missioners. Paris, Saudi Arabia, Canada. Yeah, we saw some people there. Okay, Humanity First is taking little parts of Korea. Well, where does this put us, folks? Let's take a look. So, money 207.5. All right, influence 45.5 because we spent some. Ops 30 still holding there. No changes to our MCQs. CP cap, we are spending 12 out of 154. All right, so still no space resources. Income cash is at 19.9. Influence 53.6. Ops is at 0. Boost is at 0. Research is up to 75.1. Now that we have Canada, we're seeing a big boost there. Let's fix our chart. Go. All right. Boy howdy. Boy howdy. But this Project Exodus taking the bloody control point is not. It's not great. Can we do a crackdown? No. We have very little chance of success. So what we need to do is keep an eye out and see if Project Exodus manages to lose some control of Canada. So what we're generating is resources out of Canada, so they're going to show up on our nation influence list here. But we don't control them because we don't have this point here, which is the Canadian control point. So I'm going to leave my processing here as far as the exploit. That's kind of our generic, let's extract wealth from a nation. We're not the most ethical faction when it comes to that by default. Normally, if I have full control, I like to have a little bit more of a nuanced connection, which makes it better. So it's lovely. I like how Florida and Texas are practically conjoined. Yeah, well, the southern regions, yeah, then we've got these two. Like they have the U.S. broken up, but like the mega Florida area, the mega Texas area. Basically, they simplified it. Yeah. All right. Well, with that going on, let's continue trying to take Kazakhstan because those early space points would be nice. That'll give us some influence in the European Union. Usually, it's a hard place to fight over. There's a lot of countries, but we need some sort of resources. So we're going to go for control nation there. We're going to spend some more of our influence. We'll spend 4 because we're still generating tons of influence.
Establishing our presence.
And Belinda,
Acknowledged.
you're going to go there too. We're going to spend 4 even better.
Bringing them to our side.
All right. Alexander,
At your
we're going
service.
to keep up trying to improve the view of us in the United States. Because if we can seize them, that's a huge resource bonus early on. Should also look into Mexico. Well, all right. So we're at 37 influence. I didn't think I spent. Well, I guess I spent 8 technically. So this is our monthly income. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. We need to let that build up a little bit as well, so we can buy some more people. Another agent. influence. Okay. All right. Round and round and round she goes. Where she stops.
Public opinion remains unmoved.
Oh, you're terrible at this. That's okay. Keep going.
We got our people in place.
So we've got part of Kazakhstan. That's huge. We're starting to generate boost.
Our presence is growing.
We control Kazakhstan. Amazing. Alright. So, if we look at our summary, we see movement in Turkey and Washington. We've been spotted in Washington. Okay, no new space news. Alright. So, let's update our information here. 276.3 money, influence 49.8, ops 30. So boost is currently at 0, but that's going to change now. MC's unchanged cap, CPUs 28 out of 154 total. We're not burning a ton right now, which is actually great news. Cash is up a little bit. As far as generation, 53.7. Influence is up a little bit. Ops, still not generating any. Boost, we've got 0.31 income there. Fantastic news. And we're our research is at 107. All right, so we're finally getting in the game on a few of those folks, which is good news for us. Okay, so let's take a look here at the state of things. So Kazakhstan is part of the Eurasian Union Federation. Canada still there. Okay, so let's go look at Kazakhstan. Now we're currently set on exploit by default. That is what the Illuminati do, but we want to take a look at a few things. Welfare is going down. Military, because we are unstable. Spoils, because we're not generating enough spoils to keep the elites happy. That can cause problems. Education or very high national cohesion. If the priority fulfills their elites is required, that's one strength to the value that will decrease with investments in just or very high national cohesion. So coup d'etats are a big danger. And if you don't have your spoils set up high enough, you could have a very hard time getting them to do what you need to do. So let's do a few things. Let's go ahead and trim some budgets. Building an army in Kazakhstan is, let's just take the money out of there right now. We're going to have to boost the spoils up pretty high in order to pull anything off. Inequality is low in Kazakhstan. I'd like to see that not overly go up. I want to continue to increase funding, but it's a small country. Let's just pull money away from that. And it's hard to shift this around enough to make a huge difference. That spoils danger. I mean, setting to 32% spoils is almost impossible. So let's see here. What else can do it? So government can make a difference. So does welfare improve government? Decreases inequality. Knowledge improves government. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to invest heavily in welfare and knowledge. We have boost income coming, so we're going to slash some boost income. We're going to slash down mission control. Those are things we need, but right now what we need is this more stable, happier Kazakhstan. And we're going to reduce military spending a little bit. Okay, we're gonna go with that balance right now. Now it's going to take 179 days for us to secure full control of a Kazakhstan, which then gives us the ability to control some of their special abilities, like altering their alliances and other controls and things like that. But hey, you know what? We've got them. That's huge. Now I need to generate a little bit more influence in order to get ourselves yet another counselor, because I want 60 so we can get one that's worthwhile. But I need to defend our interests here.
Reporting in.
So Belinda can go into Kazakhstan and for 20 influence, basically
Making
set up
things
protections
safe
that
for
make
our
it a
people.
lot harder for
Ready to
people
go.
to influence our stuff there. Now, Baltasar now, boy, he is not great at a lot of things currently. That is a problem with executives, is that they have limited skills, especially to start. You really need to get them organizations. As you can see, though, he's got an administration of 9. So as they start to become available, it's going to make a big difference. But right now, we don't have any of the right stuff for a lot of these. Well, we just don't have enough money for some of them. Public campaigns, I would love this one, but we're very slow. Voice of America costs 80 influence. That would give him public campaign. That would give us some influence generation on top of that. Would love to get some of these special operations groups so we can start to generate some operations money. But a lot of these are not in countries that we have influence or connections to. So at the moment, not a lot he can do there. So taking a look at his options, we could attempt to purge in Canada, but even if we bet the bank, almost no chance. Okay, because they are popular right now. What do we got here? What's this one? Advise? Yeah, that costs money, not really worth it. Crackdown, again, almost no chance of cracking down. Okay, so our options are to continue to put together an alliance of other countries that aren't really the ones I want, or we go and we deal with, let's look out here. So the more powerful a country is, usually the harder it is to influence them. Especially, it basically has a lot to do with population and their GDP. Smaller countries are just easier to take over. Poorer countries are easier to take over. And there's a lot of advantages as far as the way that they handle it. Bigger countries have more elaborate control point costs. Smaller countries are cheaper to control. They still generate resources and everything for them, and you can have a lot of luck doing that. It can just be hard because some of these bigger countries, like the United States, have nuclear arsenals, which are very valuable if the aliens start to become a problem. And you know, we've got to balance that out. It is very tempting, though, to go after Boost in the early game. It's actually part of France right there. Is it going to boost? Boost. Kazakhstan is some of the easiest boosts to snatch. But like, for instance, look at this. I could just start trying to roll through other places out here and get some of their technologies. Israel has a nuke. They have the ability to build nuclear weapons. They have a military. It's not like cutting edge. But it is. It's 4.3. You know what? Let's do that. That could distract from our ability to take America, considering the cost against CAT, but it's pretty low. Like, controlling all of Israel is cheaper than a single American control point. Okay. We're going to do that. We're going to go for Israel. Nuclear weapons, they've got an army, they're in a strategic location. We're wading into all sorts of political nightmarish issues, possibly, but let's go for that. And like, look at that, we can spend 1 influence and get an 82% chance success rate. So,
Establishing control.
Balthazar, you're going to go there. All right, I feel comfortable with that, folks. How do we feel? All right, let's do this.
Protecting our interest.
Okay, so we've got Kazakhstan defended. Meanwhile, we're continuing to roll terribly in the United States, probably, but we're going to keep going for it.
We're winning their hearts and minds.
Oh, that was a good one. We got an 8% boost. Yes. Repeat that. Continue. All right, we completed the Alien Signatures project. Ooh. There's no doubt extraterrestrial life has touched down on Earth. The many questions we have regarding its origin, its species, and its intent will have to wait. All that matters now is finding it. By cross-referencing reports of unusual events in the vicinity of the landing site with similar data from our global intelligence network, we have developed a tracking system able to reliably identify disappearances, most likely resulting from alien activity. So that's great. That's a good early win.
We've analyzed the samples.
Right, so that was one of our missions. So let's go ahead and see what we get out of that. We've completed the research alien signatures objective. Satellite footage and interviews of local personnel have confirmed that at least one of the ship's crew survived the crash and disappeared into the surrounding wilderness. So we know that there's an alien operative probably somewhere on Earth. Satellite footage and interviews of local personnel have confirmed that at least one. We already said that. Our research of the debris has already confirmed that the ship was not assembled on Earth. Putting these two things together leads us to one inescapable conclusion: an alien is at large upon our planet. A statement that sounds more appropriate for popular entertainment than for an agenda for the World Economic Council. I think that's us. Further investigation has turned up reports of disappearances in nearby settlements. This has raises troubling questions. What are the aliens doing here? And given that we have only now detected their presence, how long have they been acting while we've been unaware? Boy, I've got a stutter today, folks. Sorry about that. All right, so we now have some new objectives. We want to investigate the alien abductions. We want to research the alien origin. Salvage alien technology. It's going to be a hard one. Let's see here. Control the Earth's nations. Yeah. That's industrialize space. Build out our council. Investigate. We completed this. So these are going to be tricky. Deep System Skywatch is for research alien origin. So right now, of these, we're going to continue to investigate anytime we see those, and then we're going to start seeing about building up our things. Okay. So let's look at our technology tree and where we're at. Skywatch is going to get us to that deep space Skywatch option. So let's go ahead and boost our science into there. But let's take a look at what we can do for ourselves. We're going to see here. We were working on operations research, commercial research. This increases control point management per time step. That's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and see if we can get ourselves some extra ops points. All right. So get that for our space balance right now. Go ahead and unpause.
We've gained significant support.
All right. We took one of the Israeli control points. Good. Our summary log. We're going to look at intel on the aliens to see what we've got out there. Nothing new. And we can see resources on factions that we've discovered. So our science is behind the Academy, behind Humanity First, behind the Servants. That's not a surprise. You can see that they've invested more in capturing countries to this point. And again, that's that difficult thing. If you want certain kinds of countries, then it gets risky because you're burning your budget for lower grade countries. And I really have a specific vision.
Bringing them to our side.
So we're going to go ahead and
Ready to go.
To go after Israel. How are things going in the U.S.? We are starting to build up traction. And our odds of taking over the U.S. are really unlikely. You know what? Before I start spending all this money, I've got to update our charts. What am I doing? Resources, we're at 403.6, so we've gained some money there. Influence, 42.9, so we spent more than I recall there. Ops skill is sitting at 30. Boost, 0.1. Yeah, we're generating boost, baby. Let's go over here, and we're gonna chart design. We're gonna format that shape. And we're gonna set white. Boost is white, technically. And then so for this, we'll go ahead and we'll make that like a little bit more of a dark gray for the income. Okay, cool. Mission control, we still don't have anything going on there. Caps were 35 out of 154. Income, went up a little bit, 22.3. Influence went up a little bit, 54.8. Still no ops influence. Boost is at 0.32. And research, 120.6. Okay. So got some adjustments out there. Let's fix this one now that we can actually see our control points. Shape fill. We're going to make that a... Yeah, that works for me. Okay. Throw a save on that. All right, everybody. Now, I am going to taunt you and go away for just a moment to use the facilities. I'll be right back with you folks. We're back. Told you that would be quick, folks. Let's come over here. Get a little refresher. Stable. Excellent. Oh. So now that we've updated our resources, let's get back to it, folks. So,
Your
Alexander
orders?
is continuing to vainly attempt to influence the United States. Maybe if we give him just a smidge of a budget. Oof. It's gonna cut it. We need that resource generation, buddy. Just keep
Making our
trying
case.
what you've got. Belinda,
Standing by for orders.
let's take a look here. You have a few useful abilities. You can stabilize. Kazakhstan has some strife, so I'm gonna put you on there.
We'll
let's
make things
stabilize
safe.
the region. Let's take a quick look at our national spread here. We're not crazy popular anywhere. Go figure. Our ability to influence nations is pretty poor. It's not really the method that we're using right now. Kazakhstan's boost score has changed by negative 2.2 in the last 30 days. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm not sure what that is about that there. That doesn't seem probable. Okay. Look at boost. It is part of a federation, so it's giving some of that boost away that it's generating to its federation. Gotcha. So I'm not seeing that, so that's why we're gotta get him out of the federation, man. Okay. it would also give us more of the signals. So the problem is we've got these claims from the Eurasian Union, and the fact that it starts in the Eurasian Union, I didn't think that. Yeah, okay, that used to be a faction you had to put together. So we could unilaterally pull them out. But another thing we could do is see about taking control of the Federation. What happens if I try to go out here? You know what, Linda? I want you to keep stabilizing Kazakhstan.
We'll restore peace to this nation.
And we'll see about what Baltasar does in Israel, and then we'll see about Russia. Maybe the Eurasian Union's a good path to power for us. All right, let's go ahead. Now, we're going to zoom out for a moment, folks. Look at this. All the stuff. Space is big. Got a lot of Kuiper belt objects and major asteroids. The asteroid belt. It's huge, and there's moons and stuff. Like, we were to zoom into Jupiter. All the major moons are out there. Yep. But none of that really matters to us yet because we don't have the technology for it. So we got to work our way there. All right. So we're going to go ahead and confirm our assignments. See what happens here.
Violence is abating.
Okay, so I'm going to have her repeat that.
Our cause is unjustified to them.
Go ahead and repeat. We get some other advisors now. With our management team on board, we now recruit our core group of advisors to assist our interactions and oversight. So we took some economic people first. But right now, these are people that are going to change how we influence other countries. This is always kind of an interesting one. I'm going to go with international aid.
The trick is not to look directly at what you're trying to see. Offset your focal point somewhere to the side of where you think you notice the movement. At night, the center of your vision doesn't work as well as during the day. I won't try to explain the science to you. What matters is you'll see whatever is out there before they see you.
Okay,
Colonel
so
Hans
Skywatch has
Castillo,
been completed,
advising conscripts in Colombia.
which will improve our alien tracking abilities.
We failed to take control.
Oh, come on. 93.
The Surat al-Baqarah teaches that in the creation of heaven and earth, a wise people may find the signs of Allah. Let us heed those words and join together as we take our search into the stars. Director Khalid al-Ashgar from his khutbah at the first conclave of Muslim astrophysicists.
All right, so global techs are starting to roll through. Let's take a look at what's going on in space. We've detected some new fleets. Yeah, these are going to be delivering alien operatives. Okay. Well, that was a very disappointing round for us. We didn't have really made any real successes. Let's keep an eye on things here. And Canada continues to basically be stubborn. We're continuing to work on the United States. We're a little late to the game for the Russia. Just about, look at that. We've got the academy settling in, and man. So I wasn't aware that the Eurasian Union had been switched to being a thing that was actually active to start. We got Belarus as part of it, Russia themselves, Kazakhstan. Got any of the other stands in there? Kyrgyzstan. Well, dang it. That is going to make things hard for us with the Bloody Academy going in there. So yeah, like you can see, a lot of our initial easy grabs are going down. So we are going to have some problems in the early game, but that's not uncommon for the initiative. And again, we need some first-rate nations so we can have access to their nuclear arsenals and the militaries that they provide. Really important if we want to be able to handle any alien landings. Okay, so let's get over here. Let's take a look at our resources. Cash didn't go up a lot, 409.5, still going up. but, you know, not great. Influence, 57.3, almost at the point where we can buy another good tier counselor. Ops, holding at 30, boost 0.1. MC used, still at 0. CP used, 35 out of 154. Let's look at our incomes. Cash is at 22.6. 54.5 for influence, went down a little bit. Still nothing for ops. Boost is at 0.32 still, and our research is at 123.4 currently. Speaking of which, let's look at our research. Okay. We are investing heavily in here, but we're a little bit behind. Okay, well, that didn't get us what we wanted, but I feel like we need to bail on this tech tree and go for another. Go into deep space propulsion. Let's do that. Okay. Alright, folks. Let's look. We're not quite. Next term, we'll be able to buy another top tier counselor for the moment.
What's the op?
We're sending you back to Israel. Come on, man.
We'll be running this place in no time.
Kazakhstan is stabilizing. The government continues to go downwards, even though I'm investing in knowledge. Part of me just wonders if I should just... What if I get rid of any spending there? Okay, we're just heavily investing in these. Spoils is going to be a problem for now. But let's do that. We're gonna focus ourselves on improving the nation. See if we can't stabilize it. Okay. Meanwhile, strife does hamper research. So inequality is low. That's good. Quality of life is terrible. Keep working on Kazakhstan there. Continuing to generate a little bit of boost that we get from them. Once they stabilize, we're going to pull them out of the Eurasian Union. Now, I wish I had focused on Russia a little earlier, but it didn't seem like a very valid option for us. So, we're going to continue with this strategy for the moment. Alright, folks. Let's see.
Order is returning.
Continue to stabilize. Alright. Repeat that. Gotta crack down. That's bad.
Our case remains unheard.
That's not good. So somebody is targeting Israel.
We've got our people in place.
That's good news. We've got a UFO, so another alien operative has been delivered to Earth, most likely. Where's that crashing? Okay, well, let's take a look here. So, boy, I want to purchase that operative, but we've got so much going on here. Let's update our resources really quick first. So 414.7. We're generating money, which is not fast. 67.8. Influence generation is good, but we have some high value costs going on right now. Ops continues to have no benefit. Boost, we're at 0.2. MC 0 out of 1. CPUs just the same. Cash generation sitting at 22.6. No change. Influence, no change. No change. 124.2. So science has gone up a little bit. Yeah, so not exactly a wild ride for us there. So in Israel, let's take a look at what's going on here. We've got a crackdown. So we don't get any of the benefits from it, and a purge mission coming in after it could be a big problem for us. And it's most likely the Protectorate that did that, but there could be some others. So what we're going to see is if I defend interests in Israel, that'll at least protect our primary point, and I don't know if that reverses the crackdown. It takes a while for them to wear off. At least it's crackdown for a month until December. Okay, well.
Making things safe for our people.
Acknowledged.
There, setting us back on our income generation to get ourselves, dang it, that other counselor. Alexander, how are things going in America, bud? Well, continue to have some influence, but not as much as we want. Now let's look at, do we have any availability? Nobody's got any experience points. No works. Man, you're having a hard time. Recruit. 30 as an evangelist. Does have public... Oh. Beloved. Megastar. Alright, so Larissa's interesting for the cost. Rebels are useful for their ability to inflict violence, but not really what we're after. You know what, folks? We're going to take ourselves a budget one problem here. Let's just double check. Executive. No. Executive. No. Okay. So let's look at this. So I like the 60s normally, but Larissa offers some advantages. Large amount of persuasion to start. 8's a great starting one. No real spy skills, what have you. But 16.2 influence generation. That is not insignificant. And her special abilities give her stuff like public campaign, which we need. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and recruit her. Right, she starts off with enough experience that we can come in here. Let's see here. The only bad trait she's got is anxious, and I'm not necessarily worried about getting rid of it yet. So we're going to increase her persuasion. And we're going to add her, put her on the campaign for the United States.
Ready to go.
And she's got a base of 45, y'all. Right? Like, you get out there.
Making our case.
Ready to go.
Alexander, I'm going to send you to investigate the alien crash down.
Investigating alien site.
Some of our ops points. Okay. This could bounce us back, folks. We started off with some roughness there.
We must not only defend human life.
Met the resistance. Locked down part of Israel.
Things are cooling off.
Alright, we're going to continue to try to cool off.
Our course is unjustified to them.
It's okay. Keep working on America.
Recon complete.
Alright, okay. Bubbly, AI work is strong with this one. Yeah, the AI is giving us a hard time. Hard time indeed. Let's look at our intel. Yeah, science game-wise, we're behind most of the known factions. Not off to a great start there. Another alien fleet still heading this way. It's another. So these frigates are usually used. Yeah, its role as a transport, almost certainly bringing another alien operative to Earth. Let you know what you're gonna do. Okay, let's get things buffed up here. Cash. We got a big cash buff from somewhere. 588.1. Take it. Influence 34.1. Well worth, well spent. Ops 25. Spent a little bit there. Boost, we're up to 0.3. Mission control continues to be 0 out of 1. CP set 35 out of 169. cash generations at 22.8, influence at 70.8. So the influence game, so having strong influence is great for the political war. And that is something that our faction really depends on. Research, 124.8. Okay. All right, folks. Save on that bad boy. Okay. So, let's see how we are. Alexander, at the moment, you could public campaign in a few spots to help us. Kazakhstan could stand to like us more. Israel definitely could stand to like us more. I should be sending you after the US, though. It's a low chance, but it's still a chance.
I will try to sway the public.
Your orders?
Gotta get sneaky out here. Can we do a crackdown in Canada? Not a chance. How about a crackdown in Russia? Not a chance. Okay. Well, do we continue trying to build up small regimes or what? Let's take a look here. Do we have any available? No, we sure don't. We need to get our resources up. Okay, so nothing we can do there. Well, Balthasar, your skill set is fairly specific. We're going to have you go to ground. Kazakhstan.
Evading pursuit.
Alright.
Going off the grid.
Now hopefully we'll start...
Things are stabilizing.
States. Strife continues to come down in Kazakhstan. Only reduced it by 0.25. Jeez.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
There we go. Keep it up.
Our cause is unjustified to them.
The dreamer in me wants to believe it would bring a golden age of advancement and prosperity for all mankind. But I'm a realist. I know better. Any race advanced enough to find us would be advanced enough to end us, likely without even regarding us. Commander Fiona Ayawade, NATO Symposium on First Contact.
Well, it is needless to say that the Protectorate do not have our best interests at heart. But global research complete for We Are Not Alone. It's kind of a necessary tech. All right, so we had some mixed results, not the worst for that particular round. So what do we got going on here? So the United States, we're sitting at 25%. We're uptight with the resistance. I think it's time to start sending Balthasar out on those missions. We're going to give Balthasar a tiny bit of a budget. Our income generation is really good, so we're going to go ahead and send him with 4. All right?
Taking control.
Unlikely, but if we get it, we get it. All right, we've got Alexander.
Ready.
And
What's the
Larissa
op?
continuing to do the U.S.
I'm here.
And then Belinda's continuing
Where do you
to
need me?
stabilize things in Kazakhstan. Oh, I should have recorded our income levels before we went and changed things. Cash is up to 594.2. We're at 48.8 influence after what I just spent there. 25 ops still. Boost is at 0.4. STP's unchanged. Income 23.1. Influence is up to 71.9. 0.32 for boost still, and research is at 125.5. Let's do a quick overview of the nations that we're in. Popularity is going down a little bit in Kazakhstan, and that is because it looks like we're going to have to start wasting some influence there because the Academy is trying to work some magic there. And that makes sense because of their investment in the Eurasian Union that we see going on. Man. So it's gonna get weird. And the Eurasian Union, you can build quite a power base out of Asia, but it is a lot different from with the Eurasian Union. Looks like nobody's really gone into China yet. It's no surprise. China and U.S. are very hard to get into. And China is basically heavily resistant to influence from outside factions. Looks like that the resistance, that we've got some work from the servants heading in there into India. And Australia is mostly untouched. Yeah, we see Eurasia and Europe that the Academy is pushing heavy into those things. Interesting. Servants looks like that they're focusing on South America. Okay. One thing at a time, folks. One thing at a time. We're going to stick with our current game plan here. Pushing for America, continuing to build up. I would love to get to the moon. I don't think we even have the ability to send a probe there yet, though. No, we don't. Okay, we're going to need some of these resources at some point anyways, but we don't know what's going to become available to us and when. So, for now, we're going to stick with our current investment strategy. And we're going to move away from the deep space propulsion. We're just having a really hard time moving that forward. Let's push into Deep System Skywatch. I think we could maybe take over that one. Yeah.
It has always been true that we
met Project Exodus. Okay, this is... Alright, so we're going to go ahead and change our project to Clandestine Cells. So this allows us to take an additional counselor and increases our control management capacity. If we juice that bad boy up, we're talking March. Do that.
Things are cooling off.
Let's continue to cool down in Kazakhstan.
Our case remains unheard.
Public opinion remains unmoved.
Yeah. U.S. is hard to influence.
We still lack support.
Roll 70 versus 7%. Hey, you know what? That's okay. It's a shot in the dark. So, as far as assignments go, Belinda...
Ready for orders.
Alexander... I'm gonna send you to Kazakhstan.
We must persuade the people.
Standing by.
Try to influence the United States. No, the stipend's just not.
I will try to sway the public.
Let's update our values, folks. Money generation. We've got a burst of money from somewhere there. 738.8 for cash. Influence 63.7. Ops still sitting at 25. Boost is up to 0.5. Right, no change in MC, 35 out of 169. Look at our cash income, 23.7. Influence, we are sitting at 71.6. That would down slightly. Ops still nothing. 0.32 boost. Research at 127.3. Okay. Let's see if we can see what's going on here, folks. And we'll look at Kazakhstan. The inequality continues to be low and is low. The GDP is continuing to go up. We're still heading towards 5. You want to keep competitive. You want to keep this cohesion as close to 5 as possible for the best possible impact, usually speaking. And we continue to be a fairly educated nation. All right, these investments are paying off spoils, still sitting at 32%. And that's because our government is terrible. So we're going to continue working on that. So it's still very susceptible to coups. Really, if we could just dump all of the money into that, but we need some military spending to keep the military happy. Okay, slowly continue to influence them. 132 days until Kazakhstan can pull them out of the Eurasian Union, which could be considered risky. Looks like Russia is going to get taken over by the Academy. They're going to be one of our strong opponents. That's the strongest early influence I've seen from the Academy. Okay, well, that's... Oh, I was going to look at our people. Does anybody have enough money to augment? Linda does. Oh, we got some groups that we can afford. So... let's see who has what. Alright. So Winford Media Group grants public campaign and some money income. So public campaign would be useful for our diplomat, Belinda. Yeah, that like the CEF Industries gives us 2 extra projects. 2 security and some energy research. Like, I love it, but for the investment, Winford Media is going to pay off, and our diplomat's already a pretty powerful influencer, and I just think we need that. So we're going to go ahead and purchase the org for her. So organizations give bonuses to your people and to your incomes and such. Huge advantage always to get them if you can. You can only have so many. She can control up to 5 because she's got 5 points of administration, and you're allowed up to 15 orgs total per person. And they've got these star rankings, which give you a rough idea of their power. So 2's not bad, not crazy powerful, but not bad. So she can gain traits right now, but she's not quite to the level of getting hooked with this. 150 XP for untouchable. Alright, so still no there. His money, which I should consider. Actually, let's do a thing for Baltar. He is a money guy, because that will unlock down the road the next one, which is like a higher level. So. Alright, so we're doing good there. Gonna go ahead and throw my sevens. Clear out our tab.
We were unable to increase security.
Well,
we hold no sway in their minds.
The people will come to our side.
Well, we you know, hey, we're getting some ground in the United States. Baltazar, if you could pull off a badass role and secure part of the U.S., love you.
We were unable to establish control.
87 versus 8%. Of course not. Take it here. We're going to go ahead and look at Intel, because Intel shows us stuff that we don't always get to know. Aliens, still just Victor 2. Got some new available ones that have shown up. So, cost a little money, gets nothing fancy. The Manicore Foundation buys knowledge. Boy, these are 2 pretty weak sauce. And something special. Not somebody has the ability to go. Everything's a little more expensive for here. Is that because of his demanding? It's inflexible. 44 experience to remove that. Well, okay. No big advantages of what we can do there. So let's take a look at where we're at, folks. Cash, we are sitting at 79.4 because we spent it all acquiring something. Influence, 77.2. This is good news. Ops, 25 still. Boost, 0.5 still. No change in mission control. Capture points, we're at 43 out of 169. Right. Which means one of our capture points is more expensive than it used to be. Somebody increased in value is what I'm saying. No, that's fine. That's fine. Probably Kazakhstan, honestly. Their GDP is going up. So yeah, we're making them a better nation. We're working as hard as we can to drive them towards that. Okay. So let's clear out our overwatches there. Got all of our assignments set up. The crackdown did expire in Israel. That's good news. Okay. Incomes. Let's get those updated. So our cash is 32.9, so that went up. Influence income 76.2, that went up. We were expecting that. Ops is still 0. Boost is still 0.32 because we're not investing in that right now. Research 142.6. So big jump right there. Let's fix our chart for control points. Okay, folks. So looking at this, we're doing all right. Cash, I was positive that you had data labels outside in. How those get turned off? That's better. Must have clicked a button somewhere. Everybody else good? Everybody else is good. Okay. Save on that boy. Confirm. So now that we've got a pretty heavy amount
Order is returning.
We're going to continue to stabilize
Our
Kazakhstan.
cause is unjustified to them.
We hold no sway in their minds.
We are still having a hard time in the U.S. Not a surprise. Very.
We still lack support.
You know, I appreciate that you're trying there in the United States. So across the board, not a great round for us. Okay. Take a look at things. We're going to check. All right. Banks up to 233.0. Triggered some sort of thing. I think that has to do with funding or one of those abilities where we get periodic cash from something. But again, I'm not 100%. Or maybe we're getting it from spoils. But I'll take the money. Influence, 94.7. Ops is holding steady. Boost is at 0.6. Mission control holding steady. CP is holding steady. Cash income, unchanged. All right, folks. 143.5. Just 1 point. Okay. So, up to in the United States, 30%. Public campaign in the United States, but we're going to give you a stipend of 5. It's a small boost.
I will tell our story.
Where do you need me?
Balthazar, I want you to control nation in the United States. I'm going to give you a stipend here of 64, not 32. We're going to do 8. 10% chance. It's a gamble, but we're going to start investing money.
Bringing them on board.
Alexander.
Standing by for orders.
Yeah, no chance in the United States. Campaign in the United States. Or we're going to put you in Kazakhstan still.
I will tell our story.
Alright, folks. Let's see here. You know,
Violence is abating.
Politics it's pretty complicated. I know what you're thinking.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
And the trick is...
Public opinion remains unmoved.
Gosh, she's so bad at this sometimes in the U.S. Alright, Balthazar, give us a good roll. Come on, Balti. You can do it for us.
We failed to take control.
Boo. I mean, it's a hard roll, but he keeps rolling high. Balti, you keep rolling so high. Alright. Well, news, nothing fancy there. No new alien fleets inbound that we know about. Okay. Continuing to push to consolidate into the U.S. Let's see how our experience is going. Okay, he does have the ability for... Okay, so we're going to increase persuasion for our astronaut. Larissa continues affluent. We don't need that for her. Ooh, okay, folks. This is a big deal here. So Belinda, our diplomat, has the ability to take on the 7th U.S. Special Forces. And we have the ability to take on Voice of America. So 2 different outcomes there. Voice of America would offer, would cost us a little bit of money and give her public campaign, which she's already got now. But it would also generate a little extra influence. And what is that? She'd get a little bit of persuasion. But the 7th U.S. Forces would give increase unrest, stabilize, assault alien asset, cost a little bit of money, but give us 3 generation in ops, give her some command and security, and it'd give us a 3% bonus to military spending. So can anybody else take that on? No, it's just her. We're going to go ahead and do it. It's 100 influence. It's going to set us back for a moment, but that's a big deal. I suppose, actually, before we do that, though, folks, we should update our spreadsheet, be good analysts. Okay, and I'm not keeping track. We were really good analysts. We'd have like a running total, but I'm playing a game today, so I just don't have the time for that. All right. So we are at 232.7 for money, 109.3 for influence. Ops is holding steady. Boost continues to improve. MC cap, same. CP's the same. Cash generation unchanged. Looks like all of our incomes are pretty stable. Slight boost in research because we've been stabilizing Kazakhstan, which helps with their science. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and call that good. All right. So let's get back to our space dudes. So Belinda, I'm going to go ahead and purchase the 7 US groups for you. And I'm going to augment your persuasion. Baltar, hang in there, buddy. Nobody else has anything overly special at the moment. So, Belinda,
at your service.
Move you away from what you're doing there. I'm going to put you to public campaigning in the U.S. because look at that. You are now well suited for a massive public campaign bonus there. So you're going to public campaign.
I will tell our story.
Acknowledged.
You're going to continue to try to work in generating some influence here. Spend 8.
Taking control.
10%. Acknowledged.
You are still on the U.S. campaign as well. Give you a little bit of money.
We must persuade the people.
All right, so now we're in a public campaign game, guys. Let's do it. Now we're leveraging some of the strengths. We have lots of influence generation. Our income generation could be...
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
See, look at this. Bam. Repeat. Continue.
We've moved the needle.
Excellent. Repeat.
We've moved the needle.
There we go, folks. Unlock some new tech abilities that we can research.
We still lack support.
Critical failure, so... Terrible roll. Terrible roll. That's okay, Marcus. What we got here in the news feed. Border skirmish, China and India. Well, Alexander's pushing for us to start some research elsewhere, and I respect that. But right now, I've been wanting to stabilize our position in Kazakhstan still. Maybe stabilize it. How good are you at stabilizing? Not you.
Where to?
You can't stabilize. Really? You can't stabilize? Alright. Keep promoting us to Kazakhstan for the moment.
Ready for my mission.
Baltazar, I want you to continue to try to grab from the U.S. Let's see here. 16, 8. You know what? Let's go for that 16.
Bringing them to our side.
And folks, that's me not updating our values again. 367 for money. We just spent some influence, so we're down to 5.5. Ops is 25.8 because it's starting to go up because we have that income. 0.8 for boost. Mission control unchanged. We're up to 172 for CP cap, so we saw some improvement there. Income saw a hit to our cash income, 31.1. Influence generation went up. Ops generation is at 3.1. 0.34 for boost. Research 145.5. Okay, so we saw some shifts there. Let's take a look at the flag here, see what we got going on. Interesting. I saw some stuff move around, but I don't see any big funding changes. Alright, well, we'll just keep an eye on things. Kazakhstan's donations. See, if we could get Kazakhstan's, their boost value is better than the United States if you can get them out of the Eurasian Union. We're 101 days from doing that, and of course they could just invade us. They are fully controlled now by their friends in the academy. Well, that's okay. We're going to keep this up.
We've moved the needle.
Excellent. Continue your good work in the United States.
The people will come to our side.
We're winning their hearts and minds.
Yep. Keep boosting in the U.S., folks. This is great news.
We were unable to establish control.
Balthazar, you're still rolling terribly. I mean, it's fair. 60 is a lot better, but man, I need some good rolls, Balthazar. Okay. Well, the good news is it looks like that our chances of getting the U.S. are getting closer and closer. Let's take a look at our people. No new things that we can buy, at least with the resources we have at the moment. Yeah, most of these wouldn't be available anyways. Larissa's getting closer to being able to spy something. Balthazar. Government trade would be nice for him, but prosperous would be nice. Okay, so. Still needs a little bit of work. Let's look at our science. We haven't looked at the moment. Ledest and solar cells. We're like a year out from it. That's because we're putting so much research into it. Gosh. Alright, well, these guys started researching into that as soon as we went after that. Let's refocus. Put most of our research here. That puts us in October. What if we do? That puts us in May. We're going to build up towards clandestine cells that will drop our overall research contributions to the world. We're going to do that. Okay. So, let's record things, folks. 440.9 for money. Influenced. Rebuilding that pool back up. Ops 26.5. It is nice to be able to generate ops now, folks. Boost, we're at 0.9. Mission control remains unchanged. We're going to have to eventually start focusing there, but we're not there yet. Cash generation's up a little bit. Influence generation's up a little bit. Ops is unchanged. Boost is unchanged. Research 145. Continuing to grow that slowly. Balthazar, we're going to continue you on. Now look at this. You're now at 10% for the US, even if I don't put any influence in there. I can spend up to 16. Okay, 8 gets us 29, 16 gets us 37. You know, we're just going to go for the 16.
Establishing control.
Defenses on that. All right, folks. Let's keep pushing our agenda.
We're winning their hearts and minds.
Excellent. Keep it up in
Public
the US.
opinion is moving in our direction.
Keep it up in Kazakhstan.
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
Excellent. Come on, Balthazar. Come on. You can make that roll.
We failed to take control.
rolling a 91 and got you at 52. 50-50 odds, buddy. Even better. Slightly better than 50-50 odds. Hi, Whispering. Have I bored you to death? Or I see you yawning. Are you sleepy? Or are you watching us play our very quiet game? Continue.
With each passing day, humanity shatters the boundaries of the possible. It is our certain destiny to move mountains at the touch of a button. We need only the will to do so. And your generous investment, of course. Chairman Soren van Wyk, opening remarks during Western Armory's annual earnings call.
Okay. Well, we're continuing to see some technologies roll out.
Of course, there was an accident. Frankly, I'm surprised it took this long. Just get the recovery crew in there to salvage the gear ASAP. Worry about the bodies later. The delays are costing us. Chairman Soren van Wyk, internal memo.
They voice act a lot in this game, don't they? For certain stuff, they kind of do a little bit of the civilization thing, where certain big tech things and stuff like that, they do talk like they would as in another stuff. Sometimes more than I would want. New alien fleet. Let's take a look. We're going to take a look at our intel, folks. Any big? Got some text. Yeah. Victor 3. Now, it's a Jade Forge class gunship. We've seen these before, folks. So, usually they're used for transport. Transport. Okay, they're continuing to do transport missions. Which means another alien operative coming to Earth. I'm kind of quiet. How about now? How do I sound right now? Yeah, I've been streaming and recording this whole time. Apparently that quiet. Bubbly, you're supposed to tell me these things. So it turns out the gain on my headphones, my microphone's on the bottom, and apparently sometimes when I go to adjust its position, I have apparently hit that and had my gain turned down to almost nothing. Well, oh well. It wasn't too bad for you. Maybe I did it at one point in the day. But I'm glad that it's better. You know, could be the end of the world, folks. Could be the end of the world. So we've got alien fleet coming in. But it's another delivery of an operative, so it's not the end of the world. Let's look at our resources, folks, and see how we're doing. Our income is up to, well, so our cash reserves, 584.4. Influence, 26.1. Ops continues to grow. It's good news. Boost, we're at a full 1. Now, we could put up a station, but there isn't a lot of great calls for stations at this point. We really need to save that money in order to use it, folks, for our lunar mines once we have a chance. And we're a ways out from being able to do that. Okay, mission control continues to hold steady. CPUs is basically the same. Cash income unchanged. Influence income is going up. That's nice. Ops income staying unchanged. Boost is up a little bit. Oh, 0.35. Okay, nice. Oh, it's because we're getting more influence out there. Research, 145.9. So unchanged. Okay. Whispering says that I might be able to edit the audio post-recording. That is true. That there's a strong possibility of that, folks. There's some good tech out there for that nowadays. Okay. I'm going to clear our notice board. I'm glad that they added that option. Some of these new options are great, folks. So everybody's continuing what they're doing. Balthazar's been continuing to be our agent that we don't set because we want to be able to control how much he's spending. Look at this. Our base is up to 14% for the U.S. So before we dive in there, let's see if he's got enough to spend on augmenting. He doesn't. That would give us +1 influence. Oh. Not really worth it. Oh, Larissa can improve herself. We're going to go ahead and put that into persuasion. That's good stuff. Alright, everybody else doesn't have enough experience. Okay. I should start naming operatives after people. After my viewers. What do y'all think? Okay. So Balthazar, you've got a great name there, though, buddy. We're going to see here. Control Nation, United States. We've been focusing on that. You know, that's a high for us Illuminati types. Influence, we're 26.1 in the bank. Generation is high. So if we spend 16, that's a 52% chance success again.
Putting our people in place.
Got to start hitting those. Okay, we're going to go ahead and confirm.
Our only hope is to understand what the aid.
We met the Protectorate.
The people will come to our
I don't
side.
like the Protectorate. Okay, U.S. up to 7%. Good job.
Public opinion remains unmoved.
No change in Kazakhstan. Whatever.
We've moved the needle.
U.S. is up to 61%. Oh, I see we got the attention of some operatives, though. Somebody's over there.
We're taking over.
Yes! Baltazar, we finally seized one of the control points of the U.S. This is going to start speeding things up, and we're going to see a big boost to our resources, folks. This is huge for us. Good job, Baltazar. Good job. All that handshaking is paying off. Although we do need to start doing some counter operations to keep an eye on whoever's over there. See what's happened. We met the Protectorate. China's sanctioning the Philippines. Okay. Don't see any new alien information. Stuff on Earth is continuing. Alright, we have an army, folks. The new normal. Okay. The initial global upheaval in response to the alien arrival has calmed somewhat, with various political and economic interests recognizing that whatever the aliens are doing, the end of the world is not immediately upon us. With the sense of emergency fading, entrenched power structures are reasserting their authority, and humans are spending more time worrying about each other than the aliens. In short, our moment to strike quickly is passing. Our counselors report that their missions are taking longer to plan and conduct, as they must navigate the old protocols for travel, security, and international contacts. We can still move forward, and some of our missions will have a greater impact as we spend more time on them, but everything will take longer to accomplish now. Okay, so we're going to twice a month, so roughly every 2 weeks, as opposed to 4 times a month mission structure, which honestly is fine. You lose some of the flexibility of the early game, but it should be good for us. Okay, so let's see what operatives we have
standing by
that can maybe do something about.
Ready.
I'm here.
Have any really good investigators?
At your service.
Anybody that does investigation.
What's the op?
Clandestine cells are currently on target for June. We need to move that up. So we're just going to abandon our contribution in these others. And the Academy is dominating everything right now. That'll bring us to April. Okay, that's a lot closer. We need an extra guy. See if we can't get ourselves some sort of fixer or spy, an operative that can really help us in our counterintelligence. Because right now we can't really do anything about it. Alexander, buddy, you're not the best operative. Like, I'm really tempted to get rid of you. You're mediocre at best. You have some command stuff, but you don't have any of the command abilities that would be useful. Start stepping your game up, bud. Okay. Does anybody have 20 experience? No. Okay. So why don't you continue the public campaign in Kazakhstan?
I will try to sway the public.
Now,
ready
Balthazar,
for your orders.
We're going to continue to have you influence the United States, control nation. You can spend 32 to get it to a 65 or 16 for a 55. We're going to do the 16 for the moment.
Establishing our presence.
Confirming. Now, we've got enough boosts that we could start thinking about a space station, but aliens, they're spreading out their bases. So a technology, I think, was just researched. We're detecting alien stations. We can now see they're spread throughout Makame.
How could one so young, coddled as you are by the modern world, begin to understand what war is? I did what had to be done. Closing your eyes and wishing the monster away only makes you an easier meal. Colonel Hans Castillo, during a war crimes trial.
Yeah, Humanity First's primary contact, their main leader, is a guy who supposedly committed war crimes. Maybe. Yeah, they're the extremist faction for the anti-alien agenda. All right, so we now have deep watch.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
We continue. U.S. We're up to 68%. Keep that up. Keep going.
Our case remains unheard.
Man, Alexander, you're not doing good right now.
The people will come to our side.
Yeah, see, we're just up to 68, and now we're up 4%, we're 64. Somebody is playing in our backyard and being aggressive about it. It looks like it's probably the Resistance. And who can blame them? Another UFO down. All right, Balthazar, you got a 61% chance.
Our supporters are in place.
Good job, Balthazar. There we go. This is going to be big for us, folks. All right, let's look at the news. Took over another army. Some new alien fleets, some alien bases. Oof. Okay. So let's look at intel. Well, actually, first, before we get into that, let's be good directors, and we're going to go ahead and notate our resources. 9 to 22.6 cash. Influence 60.6. Good, so that's growing. Ops continues to grow, 29.8. It's nice that we have some income there. Boost is up to 1.5. All right. Mission control is 0 of 3. Yeah, because we're getting those U.S. resources in. Control point cap 97 of 173. We are definitely going to be burning our way through. We're probably going to be over control point cap by the time we finish taking over the United States. Income, though, 75.5. We're starting to get some money generation. 81.3 for influence. Operations sits at 3.1 still. Boost is at 1.1 generation. That's huge. Research is at 331.6. So huge improvements there as we gain control points in the United States. All right, now we're going to go look at intel. Now, everybody's research, we are now, the Academy's research is terrifying. Mind you, that's one of their strong points, but I'm going to need to look out for them. The others, we're a little behind some of them, but once we get the rest of the U.S., we'll be fine. Alien fleets, unsurprisingly. Victor 7 is probably going to be a colony ship. That's exactly what it is. So they're colonizing the outer system. All right. Victor 6. That's a destroyer, folks. So it looks like we're seeing our first patrol ship get sent this way. Yeah, they're putting an interdictor in orbit. Victor 5, transport. Victor 3, transport. Victor 3, transport. Victor 7, colony. Yeah, so Victor 6 is indeed... Well, we don't have enough intel on it yet to know how dangerous it is, but we don't even really have any genuine space resources yet, so... Okay. Meanwhile on Earth, Balthazar, we're going to continue the U.S. operation. Okay. 32 would give us a 71% success rate, 16 to 63. We're going to do that. Let's do the 32. Our income's so high for that.
We'll be running this place in no time.
I hope that's true. Let's look at our research. We're not quite there yet. It's February, mid-February. Okay, we're not quite. Clandestine cells, another operative. And we're going to consider firing Alexander Cross.
I'm here.
Great, but he is... You know what? Let's do that. We've got some alien activity to investigate.
We'll recon the site.
Buddy. And you can't be afraid to dismiss counselors and replace them as necessary, folks. You know,
we're winning their hearts and minds.
It's not like they're out of a job. When you dismiss them, they're back off into the world of your organization. But sometimes some
public sentiment is increasingly with us.
I'd like rather grow and build out good operatives, but some of the ones that you start with are terrible characters.
We found something.
Our presence is growing.
All right, that's 3 of 6 for the United States. Excellent. Good job, Balthasar. Okay. I'm glad we kept him. Originally, I was thinking of dismissing Balthasar, folks, but he's really earning his keep. Okay. Makamake is a Kuiper Belt object. It looks like we've seen alien bases out there. And that's where they start. It's the deep system. We've taken over another army, folks. All right, look at this. Cash is pouring in. 1.2k. So we're at the point where they won't give us the exact value. We've got to update our chart a little bit. And we're going to format our chart. This value. Number, category, currency. It would be nice if they had an automatic. I don't think they do. We'll just put it at 0 decimal places. I don't want you guys to wrap it or anything. I just want the, yeah, don't wrap the text. Okay. Okay. All right. So cash, 1,200, give or take. Influence, 60.8. Ops, 26. We spent a little bit there. 1.9 boost. Nice, nice. 0 out of 4 mission control. We're up to 124 out of 173. Yeah, taking the U.S. is going to put us over the top, but we do generate a ton of influence. And going over your CP point is going to burn more influence, but that's going to be okay for us. We'll be fine there. Still no income on the other stuff there. 97.3 for cash. 82 for influence. Ops sitting at 3.1. Boost is up to 1.5 a turn. Research 433.9. Okay, our research is now getting up into the big leagues. All right, that is good. All right, we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna hit a little refresh on that. Okay. Okay, folks. So let's continue our operation. Now, Alexander, you're. I'm gonna put you to work in Israel on public campaign.
Making our case.
Where to?
Let's take a look, Balthasar. How's your experience going? And I got to remove that trade on flexible. 44 is so expensive. Alexander. This is Mizar Brands. Plus 24 income. Plus 2% economy. Wow, that is. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put that on Balthasar. He's an executive. Purchase it for 89, but it increases our income. Sure. We'll take that. It looks like I have full control of Israel now because I have access to their, well, okay, I do have full control, but I can't influence their political authority yet for national policies, but I do have access to their nuclear arsenal. Which I'm going to take part of that budget, put it there. Yeah. That should be a good balance. Okay. Work on that, Israel. That nuclear stockpile is important. Okay. U.S. continuing to develop there. Balthasar, Patrol Nation, 77%.
We'll bring this nation to our side.
Let's go for it. Let's go. Let's go to space. continuing to see some projects pile up in the
Public
lab.
sentiment is increasingly with us.
Okay, good. Alexander's making progress. Alright, so they have not come in peace. Images of obvious alien military ships and structures in the far solar system has dashed hopes worldwide for peaceful contact. Many who seek an avenue of cooperation with the aliens are changing their views in light of some of the first hard facts about their arrival. And that would be the Academy, the scientist faction, let's work with the aliens for a better future. So what that's going to happen is half their control points are going to suffer the crackdown effect, and they're going to have a massive loss in public opinion around the world, and we're going to see cohesion move away from the center for everybody. So
we've moved the needle.
United States up to 68%. Let's keep that
We're
up.
winning their hearts and minds.
75%. That's good. That is strong.
We've gained significant support.
Good job, Baltazar. We're up to 4 in the U.S. All right, we finished clandestine cells, which gives us the ability to research, to recruit somebody else. Now let's look at our options here. Have living quarters allows us to build out space. Confers a 3 malice to control space missions and costs no money to upkeep. Interesting. So this, I don't know what a malice is. Let's see what they mean that for in the context of the game, folks. So I'm going to interpret that as a penalty, because malice is Latin for bad or harmful, kind of what I figured. All right. So dormitories will make it harder for people to take over the mission. Okay. Doesn't cost any money to upkeep for the module's crew, so interesting. It gives you some money and some initiative. All right, well. And Xenology labs. Man, I should research labs. I'm going to go ahead and do that for the moment. But we need to get control of one of these programs. Got people spending all over the board. Nuclear fission does seem important, so I'm going to dump a bunch of science here. See if we can't hijack. Our news. We took control of another army. That's good news. Updating the bank, 1700. All right, influence has grown. Excellent. Ops continues to grow. Boost continues to grow. Mission control, we're getting more points there. We're at 152 out of 183. Now we're going to buy another counselor, so that's going to bring that up. That's it. That's great. Larissa's telling us that we have enough boost to launch a station. Very tempting to launch a station at this point, but we need a lot of boost to get anything onto the moon. And gosh, we got to push the tech to get the mission to the moon going. Income's up to 145.9. Influence is 87.2. Ops is 3.1 still. Boost is up to 1.9. Research 561.5. See, I told you folks we would get into a good state with this. Let's take a look at our intel. So, research. We are pulling ahead in the research game now. No new alien fleets. Our global influence 14%. We have some of the most influence now. There's still a war going on in Russia and Ukraine. Let's see here. And I'm pretty positive we can't send a probe to the moon yet. Nope. Not yet. Now, a station is tempting. You can get things out of having stations. They can generate some resources. Science being one of the biggest things I think you could do with them early on. But the problem being that, we really need to save for the moon. So, Balthazar, let's continue our operation in the U.S. Okay, 32 is the sweet spot for the moment. That gives us an 82% chance of success. I would like to recruit another operative, but I want to continue the role on the U.S. before somebody else gets there.
Establishing our presence.
So we're going to continue that. Let's go ahead now, and that puts us at 41. We'll look at the available operatives. Tycoon out there. Pretty low grade. Yeah. Okay, not a lot of options. Let's look at our people. 19, 16, 14, 8. No great resources for the... Okay, now this is interesting. So, Intrepid Consulting would give us access to hostile takeover and advise, increase our income, and give more administration to its owner by 5. Now, that is not bad. Now, what does this thing cost? 1.2k. So that would be a significant amount of our money. Let's see what else we got going on out there. Now, we are generating more money at pretty significant amounts. Let's take a look at what else is available out there. A lot of these are ones that we just simply do not qualify for at the moment. I am tempted to give this to Balthazar. He is an executive. He's already got advice and hostile takeover, but giving him extra administration seems like a good plan. So we are going to go ahead and do that. So he's got that. Okay. Now, confirm our assignments. All right. The United States operation is continuing, and meanwhile, we're shoring up our position in Israel.
The people will come to our side.
Some forces. 82% in the United States.
Will come to our side.
20%
Public
Israel,
opinion is moving in our direction.
4% in the United States. Okay, excellent. Balthazar, give us a good roll.
We are taking over.
Yes, we're at 5 of 6. What's nice is the last point that's left in the United States is going to be the executive branch, and you can't go for that one if you don't have any of the other control points. So that's going to give us a lot of protection there. Let's go ahead and continue.
Mum's last years were a blur of doctors and treatments. By that point, every movement was painful. The one thing she loved was her aquatic therapy. Whenever I was home on leave, I'd take her to the pool for hours. Weightless, smiling, free. Commander Fiona Ayawade, during a psychological evaluation.
Orbital shipbuilding technology is up. No new fleets detected. Over another army. All right. We spent a bunch of money, but we made a bunch of money. So, 1,000 in the bank. Influence 84.4. Ops is at 29.2. Look at that, folks. 3.7 boost. Mission control is up to 0 out of 6. We're at 179 out of 188. So the US is going to cost us. I need to fix this control points chart slightly. But we're going to be good there, I think. Cash, we are at 176.4 for our resource generation, 88 for influence. Ops holds steady, boosts up to 2.3. Research 669.8. Like, look at that, folks. We're succeeding. The Illuminati's operational plan is doing good. I'm going to go ahead and remove military. Well, I'll leave them for now, where we can see our militaries here, but I might remove them at some point. Actually, I'm going to remove them. I don't need to see them on our taskbar. Okay, we're going to go ahead and clear out our indicators. And we're going to take a look. We've almost got the U.S. How are things going in our countries? We're going to take a quick look. We're down a little bit in Kazakhstan. And science is down across the board. And that's mostly because of unrest. Okay. But things don't look terrible. They are polarized now, and that's why we're seeing a lot of those science drops, was that event in which everybody's nations shifted a little bit away from being unified. Cohesion went down. That's what's going on. We continue to try to improve their government, folks, but this is hard. So what I think we're going to do in Kazakhstan is we're going to pull away from the welfare for the moment, because inequality is really low in Kazakhstan. And I'm going to dump a bunch into knowledge. I'm going to pull some away from military spending. And knowledge is going to push us forward. We'll keep pumping into unity. And then we have to continue to pour a ton into spoils because of how aggressive they are for spoils in this country. Stop increasing funding. So what I'll do is I'll pull those points from Unity. Okay. Alright, that's going to stabilize things out in Kazakhstan, and that huge knowledge boost will hopefully drive our government forward. We'll see how aggressively quick that goes. But I would like to give them a better government structure than they have, because they're very authoritarian right now. All right. What do we got going on out here, folks? United States. Balthazar's mission is going to be to try to confirm there. So Balthazar, we're going to spend 32.
Taking control.
Trying to finalize that. Okay. Check our messages. Nothing strange going on there. Check the time. All right, folks. All right. So, Operation USA looks like it's about to come to a successful conclusion. I wish we'd taken Canada early on, but
Public
that did push us into
Kyrgyzstan,
which was probably good. All right, 85%.
We're winning their
influence.
hearts and minds.
We're up to 26% Israel.
We've moved the needle.
Somebody's fighting us in the United States. We just took a huge hit there. There's probably aliens pushing towards the other. If we're seeing Protectorate grow, good chance that we're seeing either the Protectorate or alien influencers that are helping to protect
We've got our people in place.
But that's okay. We just seized control of the United States. Perfect. Things are going well. All right. Canada's starting to do space flight. We don't have full control there, but that's not a surprise because the Project Exodus is there. That gives us a little influence. No new fleet activity. Good news. We've got another army. All right, we're looking great here, folks. Okay, thanks to Balthazar's hard work, the USSR's. So cash up to 1,800. Influence 95.5. Operations sitting at 30.8. You know, we should get some ops budget out of having like the United States, but it doesn't really work that way. I think you get your ops budgets almost exclusively from your counselors. So it is what it is. Boost, we are up to 5 boost. Boost is growing. Mission control is up. Now we're at 206 over 188 right now, as far as our mission control, our CP cap goes. Now, when you are over, that is going to influence your, that is going to hit your, what it's going to do is being over the cap costs you influence. Now, the good news is we have an extreme amount of influence right now being generated. So we're losing some, but that's okay. It's worth it. Are these daily values? No, these are monthly incomes we're seeing. Good. I prefer the monthly. All right. Now, our income is up to 200.4 for cash. Influence is critical, so we dropped from 88 to 59, so that's the impact there. But we can survive that for the time being. Boost is up to 2.7. Research 772.6. All right. Speaking of which, let's look at how our research is going. We've taken over in global research for nuclear fission in space. That's good news. We pulled ahead of our competitors there, which were the Humanity First faction. That's going to allow us to take over one of these global research indicators, which is super important. Okay. Now what do we do? So the first thing we're going to do is we can solve this cat problem by recruiting somebody else, and we already unlocked the technology. So we're going to recruit another counselor. Now, I need somebody who can run operations, counterintelligence. We don't have any real options there yet. So officers and stuff are going to be the way to go. Okay. I mean, some great abilities for assaulting things and extracting and stuff. Unfortunately, none of the intelligence stuff that we're after. A commando, though. Surveils. Sabotage. Not quite what we're after. What we got here. Danny Osborne. Nope. Boy, we are not getting any of the right ones. Back down. What we really want is somebody who can investigate. Assuming we still have that as an ability in the game. Even though none of our people have it. Which would be an investigation skill. And a lot of these commandos are terrible too. Aware, survivor, family ties, low profile, hard target. Doesn't generate just anything we need. Wow. Okay, so none of the existing officers are going to do it. Okay. Well, we've been talking about getting rid of Alexander. He's currently in Tel Aviv. He's from the U.S. Let's take a look at some of our options out here. Do we have anything that will add the ability to investigate? Build project. Public campaign. Inspire. Surely we still have that mission ability, and I just don't have it right now. We've got a lot of things going on here. I'm going to put you up to 9 persuasion. You are going to go up to... Actually, if we hold on, we can get rid of... Prosperous increases his money generation. Yep, we're going to hold off for you for now, buddy. Got some institutes we can buy. I mean, 12 science plus 5 social science research, not bad. It's a 3-star industry. Income, inspire, plus 4. All right. Well, this would give him public campaign, 2 investigation, and a little bit of income, but he doesn't really need public campaign. Well, our good campaigners already have it. Field project. But also it would give him 2 espionage. And you know what I need is espionage people, but I need espionage / investigation people who can do what I want, which is the ability to okay, so first off, this would give plus 4 investigation. Man, do we have any high investigation people? No, we don't. Because again, we have terrible operatives as far as from an intelligence gathering aspect. We're having a hard time with that, folks. So we're going to go ahead and give the Templin Institute to Baltazar. All right. And we're going to give him Hexahedron. Really buff him up some. Okay. Don't know that I actually want any of these other ones for the moment. Okay. So we're going to start there. And we're going to see if any better agents become available. Again, we need somebody who can investigate other operatives so that we can eventually engage in assassination and stuff. As much as I hate to say it, we're going to need that to take these forces down. Now, United States is pretty stable under us, but we need to now see about changing around some of these things. Spoils in the U.S. has to be 10%, which is where we're at. Okay, we'll take that for now. But welfare could stand to be a major focus for us. So let's look at some of our options. We want knowledge high. That's going to improve our government. Military is good. I mean, the U.S. really needs to be a power base, right? So what I'm going to do is put half of our mission control budget in there. And we're going to use that as a starting point to see if we can't improve welfare of the United States. Or gives a 5% bonus. 4% bonus to all investments for a particular control point as long as at least one of our other priorities also received. Okay. Completing the warfare priority. So it sounds like that, like, all of these get benefits from welfare being. All right, and then we're going to just go boop, boop, boop. 10% of the U.S. budget is now going to be dedicated to welfare for the time being to see what we can do as far as fixing this. We're very sectarian right now. Knowledge will improve that as we go up, and we have a little bit being spent in Unity. See if we can't turn that around. Okay. So now that we've got an investment plan in place for the United States, let's see if we can make a few changes.
Standing by.
At your service.
Where do you need me?
Yeah, Alexander,
where do you need me?
You definitely need replacing, buddy. You're okay. I just can't. All right. Look, we need to replace Alexander. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy a Alexander replacement, and then we'll see about finding another operative. Okay. So we need people that can stabilize and advise to control nation, crackdown, public campaign. So decent administration. What about Cool Deep? Stabilize. Okay, decent persuasion. Surveilling. Investigating. Alright, we are going to go ahead and recruit Cold Deep as a soldier, not an operative. And we will dismiss Alexander when another good operative comes up that gives us a good chance to do what we want. So now we can see about. Alright, steel project. Now, why can't we purchase this? Requires something because we don't have quite enough. That would be nice to get for her. So we're going to go ahead and augment her administrative capacity, though. So that'll allow us to get better things for her when they become available. So.
Where do you need me?
Yep. Well, what I'm going to do is I want you to stabilize the United States. We've got a little bit of unrest there.
We'll restore peace to this nation.
Your orders?
Now, Balthazar, I want you to protect our interests in the United States.
Securing
Get
our
that
control.
set up.
Reporting in.
Larissa, you will continue to work in the United States.
Ready for orders.
Belinda, we're going to move you to stabilize
Restoring order.
Kazakhstan. Okay, folks. Let's do it.
Securing our interests.
Yeah, that was a
Violence
big
is
turn,
abating.
but we had a lot going on there. All right, so United States, we're going to repeat that.
Things
until
are
we get
cooling
that
off.
down. We're going to repeat that, stabilize
moved the
Kazakhstan.
needle.
I want you to repeat in Israel there.
Public
That's what we're gonna
sentiment
have
is
here.
increasingly with us.
Yeah, we're going to keep the U.S. opinion of us high because we know that there are other forces at work there. So the Interplanetary Warship Project is becoming available. But we're going to keep up our current science regime, as we've got a particular focus right now. We've detected a new alien fleet landed on Makamea. Let's see what it is. It's a frigate, Twilight class. So it's another colony ship. Okay, well, that was bound to happen. Okay. Let's... Oh, no. Back to Earth. So let us take a look at how we're doing here, folks. We spent some money, so we're at 1,500. Influence, 55.1, because we spent quite a bit there. Ops, we are... What's up? Bunch of messages all at once. Sorry about that, folks. And that's my lady telling me that I'm ignoring her, which is not technically true, but she's at work and I'm at home. Okay. Boost, we are up to 6.2. Puts us in a good position for the eventual lunar base. Gosh, we got to push that technology. Mission control, 0 out of 7. CP, 206 out of 212. That's great news. So we've stabilized that. So our income is going up to 234.7. We're back to 86.9 for influence generation. Ops is unchanged. Boost unchanged. Research 794.5. Oh man, we are looking solid there, folks. Okay. Take a look at our... Got some more space stations going up, but we still don't have the ability to send probes to Luna. Well, if we take over one of our projects, we're going to see about pushing the mission to Moon. But we'll get there. Okay. Alrighty. Looks like Belinda is continuing her mission. How are we doing for experience? Alright, Alexander, I've been continuing to hold on to you, buddy. Despite my reservations about your skill set. Imminent. -2 espionage, but influential. Okay. Opinion leader. So we're going to start taking advantage of some of the abilities that you can gain, apparently, here, buddy. So we're going to give you that. If we're going to have you on the team, then we're going to need to build you up. You don't need any of those, though. They're not going to do anything for you, though. looking solid on that front. So, right, everything's influenced there.
Ready to go.
Yeah, Balthazar. How we doing out there? Kazakhstan continues to be protected. Israel's partially protected. Need to see about putting you to work somehow. You can inspire loyalty of counselors with you. Really? Let's see how we can do here. Some of these. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that right now. I could use you to advise. Let's advise the United States. All right.
Lending my expertise.
There we go. Let's see how
I will help them.
Okay, increases their research by 2%, the GDP by 18%, the performance by 0.06 Militech. Okay, well, like, not crazy improved, but you do have some benefits there. Yeah, it's because you don't have a strong science and command skills. The administration, though, is probably paying off for the GDP part. Okay, space dock project.
Things are stabilizing.
Almost stabilized the U.S. Another alien crash.
Order is returning.
Stabilizing Kazakhstan. Okay, we finished our science gizmo there. All right, what do we got available, folks? You know, let's get the ships on the docket because we're gonna need that technology eventually. Wait a minute, hold on. Let's do space dock first because we're gonna need that to build the ships. All right, that's important to keep track of. All right. Okay, so that doesn't belong there. And gonna go here.
The people will come to our side.
The people will come to our side.
Yeah, somebody's trying to push it to the U.S., but we're holding pretty steady there. Oh. Well, we've got Alliance Science Bus becoming available that we can start to take advantage of. I would like to start building some orbital facilities, but you all know that I've got my priorities for that. So we're getting messy in Mexico. That's ultimately what happens. North America unification is almost always a major task that I love to undertake, but it could be difficult to pull this off. Okay. So there are some aliens that need investigating.
Acknowledged.
So, Cold Deep, I'm going to send you to go investigate that.
We'll see what we can find.
Oh, we're gonna update our bank, folks. 2,100 cash. Influence 93.7, looking good. Ops 28.9 because we spent some. Boost 7.6. Oh man, we're getting good there. All right. We're continuing to see our ability to generate some of these resources go up. Oh wait, no, boost generation still 0.2.8. And research is at 790. Okay. Let's do a quick overlook at their nations. US is no longer on full exploit. Let's look at Israel. Israel might be set to full exploit. Time to... Nope, that's custom. Oh, you know what it is? Our control point in Canada. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to keep up with that for now. Okay. Balthazar, let's see where you can be of use to me. I do have room to take on some more territory. I could get involved in Mexico. I could snap up some of the smaller states in the Kazakhstan region. Not that they hold a ton of inherent value on their own. Like, that's more of like just collecting trophies at this point. Iran. Yeah, put us over to take over Iran, though. Some of these countries are super unstable as well. How are we doing in the US? So we got 148 days. Alright, so we have a decision to make here. We do control Kazakhstan enough that we can send in and we can leave the Eurasian Union. Or cede territory to the Russians. I'm not going to cede territory. And it would be tempting for us to pull out of there. Continue to try to push up the government. So we're continuing to invest there. We'd have more resources if the shared funding granted to the nation, which are substitutes for the domestic values. I think we're going to leave the Eurasian Union.
Heading to the capital.
Baltasar in to do that. Okay. Let's pull out, folks. That's what she said. Okay.
In 1954, the Americans built the first nuclear-powered submarine and changed the course of naval warfare. Upon us to become the creators of the first nuclear-powered spaceship. It is upon us to define warfare in space. Commander Fiona Ayawade comments to media at Churchill Shipyards.
All right, so good news, folks. We have taken over one of the slots used to determine global research. This is important because this allows us to direct technology towards the things we want. Now, the game, however, has an insanely big tech tree. So finding things can take some practice. So Outpost Tabs has to finish before I can pick Mission to the Moon. And it's almost done, but it's not quite done. And once I pick one, I'm kind of stuck with it. Okay, so we need to pick something that's going to benefit us. Alright, so that's also maybe not a super expensive one. Okay, well, it's disappointing. Advanced chemical rocketry would improve some technologies there. These Unity movements. Space mining and refining technology requires mass drivers. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and begin research there. Yep. That is probably the best we're going to get at the moment, since Outpost Tabs is not completed.
Things are stabilizing.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
Just imagine, Ifechi, how this world would change if we could mass manufacture building materials in an instant. Homes built for mere pennies, irrigation for every village, a brighter, fairer future for all. Commissioner Kiran Banerjee, Private Correspondence.
Okay. So we've unlocked some more stuff.
There are two types of people in this world. Those who think only of home, and those who think only of leaving home. Director Khalid Al-Ashgar.
Alright, let's see what they picked. Solid core fusion systems. Yeah, those punks. That's not what I would have gone for at all. Okay, well.
Policy direction complete.
Right, so we're going to go ahead and leave the Eurasian Union. That is going to boost our boost income for sure. This is going to be great. Now, it is going to probably upset the Academy, which will probably use Russia to try to retaliate, but that's fine. None of their business. They took
Here's
Russia.
what we found.
Okay. Never understood the supply depots. It's like a cheap alternative to the space dock, but why not just have a space dock? Seems like a strange idea to me. So, busy month. Anything new with aliens? No. Clear this out here. Something's going on here. Look at that. Huge down. We lost like 20% of our support in the United States. And again, we don't really have the appropriate operatives for the purposes of stopping things. So let's take a look here. Is there any operatives that we can get to do what we want? Or that we can give the ability to do what we want? Just tempted to ditch Alexander here. Try to buy somebody better. He's got influence and stuff, but he's just not... Alright, we're going to dismiss you.
Mission is a no-go.
It's a 60 value. That's just so hard to believe. Okay, I need an investigator that can actually save people. Now, she generates research and almost as much influence as our buddy down there did. But she can't investigate people. Lots of influence. Mediocre stats. Lots of influence. Good stats. Some research. Yeah, let's just go ahead and replace him with just a better him. Okay, so we're going to have to do that for now. Keep an eye out for companies that we can use to improve ourselves. So that would give extra there, give her some espionage. But again, just not... We need better companies to come available.
Ready for orders.
So, Larissa, you're going to...
We'll make our appeal.
Where to?
So I'm going to put you on surveil. I don't know if...
Setting a
like,
watch.
It's possible that they removed the
Where do you need me?
Reporting in.
I don't think that they did, though. But Balthazar, why don't you advise the United States again?
Offering
take
assistance.
Advantage of that money.
Where to?
There. And you can public campaign. Doing here. In Israel on our behalf.
Making our case.
Okay, not the most exciting mission mix, folks. I admit it. But
offering counsel.
You guys are watching me send messages on my phone. I am super excited. All right. We're going to put you on permanent assignment to the U.S. until I need you.
Initiating surveillance.
Doing surveillance in the U.S. to see if we can scare people away.
We have moved the needle.
Violence is abating.
Almost got Kazakhstan.
We hold no
down.
sway in their minds.
Right, you're just on permanent assignment in the U.S. to keep them happy until otherwise noticed. Okay. Let's take a look at things. Well, it's 12:45, folks. And it looks like things have calmed down out there, and we've been at this for 3 hours. Although somebody just popped in. Who just popped in? Hello? Who's hanging out, lurking in the chat? I'm getting close to thinking about a break, but we're not there yet. Oh man, somebody is fighting us in the U.S. again, aren't they? Oh, we've got some new companies out there. Oh, some of these are interesting. Expensive. Okay, so the DEA would give her... We'd get more ops generation. That's about it. The Air Force Research Laboratory, that would increase military funding, space program, boost mission control, and give some military science research bonus, plus 25 science, and give about that. That is nice. Must have the straight counselors. Do I have anybody else that could take the Air Force Laboratory? No, we don't. Loom Aviation looks like most of us could just grab. So I'm going to have that one get picked up by... Oh, you know, before we do that, we should fill out our tracker, huh? Let's see how we're doing, folks. We're at 4,000. Influence is up to 127.1. Ops has been continuing to grow. 12 boost. Oh, that's beautiful. We're at 206 of 215 for our cap. And our income does look like it's going up. New, better influence generation. Ops has stayed about the same. Boost, we saw that benefit because we took Kazakhstan out of the Eurasian Union. Research, 7784.2. So we are looking good all around there. Okay, folks. Check out my messages here. I apologize. I've got some coming in about the kiddos. Okay. What do we got going on here? Spacing out on you all. I'm gonna need some lunch here soon. Oh, right. I spy with my little eye somebody who needs an assignment.
Standing
that is
by.
Full deep. Let's look at this. The U.S. is fairly peaceful. Kazakhstan. Some strife in Israel, go figure. We'll send Belinda there once she calms down Kazakhstan. Sunner, Kuldeep, I'm going to send you to the U.S. for the time being.
We've turned down the
US. All right.
Offering support.
Kind of a quiet round in many regards. Okay, folks. Yeah, we still don't have
Order
an
is
investigator to
returning.
investigate. Here we go. United States peaceful.
Order is returning.
Kazakhstan almost
The people
peaceful.
will come to our side.
Our cause is unjustified to them.
We laud the Romans for assimilating rather than exterminating other nations. But we should not forget that their siege weapons were terrible things to behold. History is littered with accounts of opponents simply surrendering as they watched Roman catapults approaching their walls. Colonel Hans Castillo, guest lectured to officer candidates.
All right, folks. So that was mass drivers, which is a weapon technology, but also used for mining technologies. And what we're going to do now, though, is the mission to the moon. I mean, as much resources as we have, yeah, we're going to do the moon. And that's going to unlock our ability to send a probe to the moon, which is going to unlock our ability to build something on the moon. It's going to be an aggressive combination of moves. Okay. We're continuing to see technologies unlocked because of the research that have been going on. And we're continuing to see space stations get put up. But again, we're not burning any of our resources for that because we're aiming for the moon. Okay. We have the resources to acquire UNESCO, huh? Do we want UNESCO? It's 2 plus 2. I don't really care about UNESCO. Not as much. Oh, we got some money for lots of folks here. So Larissa can improve herself. She can gain the trait criminal. Increase her persuasion more. Gosh, I feel like there's a lot going on here that she needs to focus on, but I've got her persuasion so high. Look, we're going to go ahead and put up her administration. That's going to pay off eventually. And then Kuldeep, we're going to get back to you. Why don't you go ahead and take Alien Aviation? It's going to increase our boost a little bit. And I know they keep pushing UNESCO, but this looks too good to pass up. Air Force Research Laboratory. Okay. So, we should record things, even though we spent some of that. 4,300. Influence is down to 60.9. Ops is up to 33.5. Boost, we're sitting at 14.3. Okay, 206 out of 216 for our CP. Cash is... We saw a dip in our cash production. I need to figure out what's going on there. We're going to have to investigate our countries. Something just happened. Or we have an expensive cost that I took on them. And that could be... Yes, okay. So the Air Force Research Laboratory costs $65 a month. Now, we're getting 25 science out of that, plus we're getting a big boost to military technology funding, space programs boost, mission controls, military science research. So there's a lot there. So those big government orgs do have their costs. That's fine. We're okay with that. And that's half the reason I track this, is so we can see when those situations go. Influence generation's down a little bit. Boost generation 5.3. Research 817.3. We're seeing our research game be pretty strong. We've generated 66 compared to everybody else, so I can afford to put an extra point in there is what I'm going to do. 9.5 a day versus 11 a day. Let's do that. Okay. So deep. I'm going to use you, and you're going to come in, help us stabilize Israel.
We'll make things safe.
Kazakhstan. Authoritarian government's getting worse, not better, but I'm investing so much. Oh, you with spoils. What if I just went? Or just dump money into knowledge. Just dump it in. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to try that. Okay. Conversion assignments.
Lending my expertise.
This is where things start to get a bit madhouse. So we're getting close to the point of the game where we will be able to start engaging in space just a tiny bit.
Things are cooling off.
And that
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
That's
Things are cooling off.
We've moved the needle.
Because until you get a significant production of space resources, the early space game is extremely expensive. And then at some point you'll be like, I can't believe that was ever expensive in my mind. Assuming things are going well and you don't piss off the aliens. And that is something to look out for. Okay. Oh, we got some alien investigations that we can do.
Standing by. Investigating alien site.
Let's take a look here. Cash continues to grow, 4,900. Influence, we're looking at 100.7. Ops, we're looking at 30.1. Spent a little bit there. 17.1 boost. That's going to be great for when we have that chance to get up to the moon. 206 out of 216 still. 7. We're losing some influence generation. Not sure where. You'll see it slip sometimes. I'm not crazy worried about it. Some of the sciences behind that are a little weird. I assume it's partly from, public opinion. So we're probably losing a little bit from the public opinion. That comes and goes. You do what you can there.
Acknowledged.
Where to?
We're fighting for public opinion in the U.S. right now, apparently. Because somebody is getting influence there. Okay. You would think some of the improvements we're doing in countries like Kazakhstan and Israel would help. But people can be very stubborn. Okay. Gamma Foundation, some science, the Orleans Foundation, welfare generation. Did you get the DEA, or is it already gone? 120 for the DEA. Mine was sad. Look at those guys. We're going to go ahead and purchase that for now. It's only money. Okay.
I will help them.
Man, the Europe game is a lot more complicated than the US game. Look at all this. It's pretty divided right now, which is good and bad.
Things are stabilizing. We are winning their hearts and minds.
We'll take it.
We're winning their hearts and minds.
Of Canada. Which I'm fine with ultimately. There's some resources there, but that'll give us back a little bit of resources that we could use elsewhere.
Recon complete.
We're having trouble envisioning the aliens as any kind of business opportunity.
Okay. Another fleet that's been spotted. Let's take a look at that, folks. Another missed class frigate, probably a colony ship. Yes, it is. I think. Could be worse. Defend interests are down in Kazakhstan. We need to definitely put that back.
Ready for orders. Securing our control.
That happen.
Ready.
I'm going to have you investigate Hanoi.
Investigating alien site.
Just barely spent a little too much to pick up the DEA. That'd be another fairly big financial cost, though. So I don't know that they're worth picking up. Okay. All right. Well, you know what, folks? I'm going to go ahead and say it there. It's 1 o'clock. Been at this for about 3 hours, and y'all are pretty quiet out there, so I think everybody else is thinking about lunch as well. If you've been watching the stream live, thank you for coming along today. We had It's Bubbly earlier, and we had Whispering earlier. I hope you two are continuing to have a good day wherever you are. If you're watching this, and I've gotten this over onto YouTube finally, then hi. I play lots of different games. Trying out Terra Invicta. It's a slower game, but if you just want something slow where you can hang out, listen to some lo-fi, watch me do some nonsense, it's a great game to join on. And at some point, we will have spaceships and be fighting aliens. It's like a slow version of XCOM. But yeah, thank you. Go ahead and like, subscribe, follow, share. I don't know what we call it if you send out something on Threads, but send it on Threads. I guess if you have Twitter, send it on Twitter. But you know, I don't know that that's going to be around much longer. So try out Threads. I like Threads. Yeah, but thank you so much for coming along with me today, folks. And I will catch you later. And have a wonderful day.